Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be doing a tarot card reading and oracle card reading on the next steps that you should be taking in your life. And I have 5 different card stacks. I'm going to get right into introducing the stacks. We have this beautiful amethyst here for pile number 1. And for pile number 2, we have this Siddhartha or Buddha. I think it's iron maybe. My friend just sent me this. So beautiful. I love this. And for pile number 3, we have a lizard. I think this is red Jasper. And my boyfriend actually bought this for me on a random day. We own lizards, so I thought that was so sweet of him. And for pile number 4, I have this little black tourmaline that my friend also sent me. Same friend who sent me this, so it's possible these readings could be connected. That's a little black tourmaline there. And then for pile number 5, I actually just bought this. This is a little spell jar I bought at a show I went to very recently. It has amethyst and lavender, rosemary, and chamomile. And it looks like she wrote something in there and put some purple wax on top. I asked her what it was for. She said it was for anxiety, but I'm sure it's probably just good for a lot of things, having those awesome things put together. It reminds me kind of how I used to make my perfume. I always put crystals and herbs in there that add a little bit of intention. I was really excited to add this to my collection. And yeah, I came up with the reading. It's going to be a 10 card reading, and it's going to have different layers to it. I'll probably just explain it more as I get into it. And I'm also going to read this card that popped out at me. It is part of one of the decks that I'm going to be using today. And I'm just going to read this to start our reading off. Welcome, energies of earth, air, fire, and water. Let us create a life of beauty, reverence, and wonder. With each season, let us rejoice. Through every phase of sun and moon, let us be in harmony. In every direction shall we offer our love. Let the reading begin. I just really wanted to read that. It popped out at me today. And I hope you all have selected a card stack. Maybe take a moment to breathe with the stacks. You could definitely have more than one pile. And technically you could have none, but I imagine since you're here watching, you probably do have a message in here for you. Just take a moment. Maybe think about the next steps, the next stages of your life, because that's what this tarot card reading is going to be about. Maybe do some deep breaths. You can always pause the video if you're having trouble connecting to your intuition to see which one it is. Your intuition can talk to you or show you things in many, many ways, so sometimes it might be a little different to decipher. And once you have that picked out, we're going to be moving on to the reading. Welcome, pile number 1. If you chose the amethyst, then this is going to be your reading. And I'm going to get your first layer of tarot cards right out. It's going to look like a staircase at the end. Okay. So for the first steps that you need to take, this part I wanted it to be like the foundation. My dog just started growling. It's okay, babe. So for this first layer, I wanted it to be the first steps, your foundation in this like new life, new journey. Basically, this reading is going to be kind of how you can level up, and these will be your first steps. So what you have here is the Mother of Pentacles, Justice, and the Emperor. With the Mother of Pentacles, she's someone who is very domestic, but also works on her work and business, or either or, like career oriented and domestic. So with this card and Justice coming out, it definitely gives me a feeling that you're going to have to find a really good balance and make sure that your time is being spent in both areas of your life. I think this card is definitely calling out that for this next step, you want to have a very clean and organized space. This is going to be very important. It's going to make your mind work and everything work a lot easier if your area is decluttered, cleaned. So get that spring cleaning, summer cleaning vibe coming in hot, and make sure that you're just like cleaning up your space. But this isn't just cleaning up your space, you know, also just making sure that your daily habits and the people around you are the people that you should have in your life. And with the Justice card coming out, I definitely feel like this is like a balance, because the Emperor is very much like divine masculine, where this is definitely giving me a divine feminine feeling. So with Justice coming here, I think this is about finding that balance, as I said before, between your divine feminine and your divine masculine sides. Like we all have both inside of us. And the Emperor tells you, you know, about standing strong and tall and knowing just what to do. And actually the Mother of Pentacles also mentions knowing just what to do when it comes to taking care of others with your career. So I think with your next steps, it's giving me a feeling like you should be able to ask yourself a question and you know the answer. Like when I ask myself a question inside my head, I get an answer immediately. Some people, they'll have like different answers and then they work through the different logical steps. It's just a little bit different for me. It's totally depends on your thinking process. But I'm definitely getting a feeling that you shouldn't be going to anyone else to ask important decisions. It's all inside of you. Don't ask your mom, dad, your significant other, your best friend. Like, you really, at this time in your life, should be getting your information from within. I mean, once you have this information, then you can go to these other people in your life and say, this is what I've decided. What do you think about this? How does this fit into your life? How can we make this work? You know, compromise, things like that. But that's the feeling that I'm getting with this section, is like a balance between divine feminine and masculine, connecting to your intuition, knowing just what to do. Definitely just a lot of a balance between career, self-care, taking care of others, balance between feeling things out and logic. So just try to actually get yourself balanced. Like, this might be down to a time frame, like where you're spending these days doing this or you're spending these hours doing this, but at the end of the week it should look balanced. There shouldn't be one part of your schedule that is being way overdone. So if that means working with others to alleviate some of your stress, then that has to be done. But you definitely should be getting any information about your next steps from within. Ask yourself every single step of the way, and you will always know the answer. That is always, always the truth. I could say that in any reading. You are the one that should be making the final decisions in your life. Okay, and I'm going to pull out these next two cards. Now, I kind of wanted these cards to be like areas that open up for you once you take these bottom steps, like the next steps to be taken after this bottom row. And that is what I was trying to get at with this second row. And I'm actually going to pull out the book for this one. Okay, this card says, an opportunity to find courage, a time to focus on safety and the things that are going well in your life. What's keeping you up at night, sweet seer? This card suggests a time in your life when negative thoughts are gaining momentum, and when you may find yourself expending too much energy worrying about the future. Perception is everything, so don't allow negative self-talk to trip you up. If a pessimistic mindset spirals wildly out of control, it can lead to anxiety, stress, or depression, even when your thoughts carry no truth. Are you imagining the worst instead of activating the best? Flip your perspective and send nurturing, loving thoughts to your situation to overcome any disturbing thoughts. Look to the light in your situation and notice that even the tiniest window of brightness can keep fear at bay. Use your light to expose the illusions and allow worries to dissipate and soften as your bad dreams are illuminated for what they are. I see my fears as the illusions that they are. I think this is a really important time to talk about when you do go on a journey to better yourself. Maybe your ego or like the part of you that just wants to be the old self, what you know, it will come out in full force because you are working so much harder to better yourself. Sometimes those are the hardest times. That's when you really trip up. I think that's what this card is saying, is that don't let that negative self-talk or like bad things about your life come up in your head over and over. Like, always find the silver lining. Always say, well, thank God for this, or at least this happened, and just try to see the positive side of life, because it will take you really far. Like, I've been through so many difficult situations in my life. Like, I even went through a house fire recently, and I still was able to see all of the good in that situation. Like, every single time I was able to see the good. I'm like, oh, well, I wanted to move anyways, and now we don't have all this stuff. And, oh, at least I have people that care about me. Like, this is so beautiful. And I think that that's what this is saying, is even in the most difficult situations, you can find the good in those situations. And a lot of the times you'll see that your difficult situations aren't even as difficult as you think they are. Like, you thinking so much about them is what causes them to be so difficult. So if you just move on to the next thing, or think about the good in the situation, also, like, saying really positive things, like flipping whatever it is you're saying and just saying the opposite of that, making affirmations for yourself, it might be a really good tip. But I think that that's just a really important factor, because I think you're going to be finding a lot of balance, and you're going to be getting in tune with your multiple sides of you and blending them. And you're going to find that there will still be days where you'll have horrible days, like dark night of the soul days. Like, a spiritual breakthrough, it never ends. It always keeps going, and it spirals back to the same things that you already thought you had learned, and you learn more. And you might have really hard times with things that you never expected, but it's always important to see the good in the situation. Like, you will notice that everything happened for a reason. Even if it doesn't feel good at the moment, it still happened for a reason later in your life, to clear out people in your life, to clear out things and situations in your life, and to make you strong, to find courage. That's what the dark days are to teach you. And with the Ace of Wands here, I do believe this card is about like creative invigoration, and like also invigorating others, inspiring others. So I think that's definitely something that's going to happen with this like immense balance, and how hard you work in your career, and how well you take care of others, and how you stand true to yourself. And you have this like almost diplomatic way of thinking, where you're like, what's going to be best for everybody. That is going to inspire other people. The way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you seem at peace. You're going to seem at peace to other people in this next stage of your life, but also you're going to be inspiring in like a fiery way. It's incredible, that balance that you're going to bring. Well, let's read this. It says, new ideas, a seed of potential, the arrival of inspiration, intense creativity. It says, mirror-like nature of consciousness, the interconnectedness of all things, the ability to manifest anything. So really good things are coming once you bring this like balance into your life, clean out your space. Really, really, really good things are coming to you. You're going to have so much creativity. You're going to inspire others. You're going to be like learning really deep things about the universe, and how things work, and how every single thing is connected, how every single person is a little piece of you. So how every single situation has stories to tell and lessons to learn. It's just a different way of viewing life. I think that's what's going to happen to you. Let's read it. The ace contains all the sparks for all the ideas, and they're generating intensely powerful light for you right now. She is connecting you with the one cosmic mind, a universe consciousness, and her delightfully magical soup that is brimming with colossal creativity. A flame burns here that is meant for you, but it hasn't been put to use yet. What will you create with this boundless potential? Stay open to receive inspiration and insight. You may be shown new information about your divine purpose or soul path, or you may even feel compelled to put something completely new into the world. If it feels good, it probably is good. And even though this ace can only predict the inception of something new, it also suggests that all the energy to bring this project, idea, or feeling to a successful completion is available to you. I seed my brilliant future with the roots of creativity and inspiration. Wow, that is awesome. So I think you're really going to be connecting to your intuition. And like lately, I don't know if it's just this year, because like, other years with the pandemic, I felt like it was like go inside and do self-work and maybe do some art. But like right now, I'm getting this feeling like it's shifting. And this year I've felt immense creativity, like art, music. Everybody should just be like flowing. And I think it's like we went through this inward phase, and now it's time to like explode, expand, and be outward and show the world what we got. Because the thing is, we all are divine, we all are connected, and like the divine wants to use you to create more. You are a creation, and the divine wants to create more with your fingers, with your voice, with everything that you do. It is creating, and it is beautiful. So connect to the divine, ask the divine, you know, that this is your second step. So first you're going to want to like clean out your space and find this balance, and then this is going to happen for you. And when it does, take that ride and go with it. Create and flow with the universe, co-create with the universe. That's what you need to be doing. I mean, even if you're not good at it, that is how you become good at it. Right now, I started YouTube and I've been acrylic painting. I'm always trying something new and working on my old passions. They're always intermingling, and this is definitely going to be happening for you. You're going to be creating. That is what is going to be happening. And don't be surprised if you have hard days, okay? Everybody has hard days. It does, even if you take all the steps in the world to try to better yourself, you're still going to have days that look like this. You will. I do. Everybody does, you know? I think social media makes people think that everybody's always just having a good time because they're not posting their teary-eyed, sad pictures. They don't, you know, set up a tripod and take pictures of themselves crying and say, this is what's really happening. But that is what's really happening. It happens to everybody. I literally was crying yesterday because I didn't get a house. And then today I found out I'm going to get a different house. That's how simple it is. It's like, it's fine. And I let myself feel that. I let myself cry. And then I let it go and was like, I'm going to get another house. What do I do? And then I stayed up all night looking for a different house, and then I got one. So it's all about just letting yourself feel it and then flowing through it, working through it, and on to the next thing, on to that next creative spark. This last card is kind of like an outcome that could come from these. I think, you know, this reading I kind of just came up with on the fly. It's not something I've ever actually seen before. I figured this one would be a little bit more spiritual because it's from this medicine woman guidebook. We'll see what it says. I'm still learning these. The 4 of arrows, that would be swords. Okay, the prayer says, Grandmother, I realize that the road that has been traveled most may not be the one on which I shall find my gain. The structure that is already standing may need to be changed to suit my purposes. In my mind, I create anew. I am a seed of new culture, a world yet to come. Wisdom come whisper while I sit, tying up the threads of my life. I seek to make best use of all the resources, to express my true nature, and to teach what I learn to those who follow this road behind me. That is so, I feel that so much. I've always felt like I've had to make my own path. Like, my path just isn't out there. I tried to work a regular 9 to 5, and it really just did not speak to my soul. And I realized that going on the beach and selling my perfumes and going and vending and traveling and creating new business and working on YouTube, and there's so many different modalities of work, of actual like careers, and also just a way of life. Like, there's so many different ways of life, like how people raise their children and how you eat and everything like that. Like, I stay up all night. A lot of people think that's really strange. That's a different way of living. But this card is definitely telling me that you are going to create your own path. In fact, this card even said, the Ace of Wands said that something new is coming. So you are going to do something that hasn't been done before. If this means starting out as the novice, so be it. Whatever you're going to do, you know, this card also has the woman is knitting, so it's very possible that you could be doing something with fiber art. Just wanted to throw that out there. It did say weaving together the threads of my life, so it could just be talking about that, but I definitely wanted to mention that fiber art She actually has like a little bag here, so maybe making purses, making clothes, knitting, crocheting, weaving wall hangings, things like that. But just in general, I believe that you're going to become a very wise person that is making their own path in life, and you are going to be taking all the steps to do this. I definitely see that you will be very successful. Let me see the lesson here. Take time to organize your thoughts. Allow your recent experiences to integrate with your prior knowledge and future visions by becoming still. Meditate, contemplate, write in your journal, perhaps sleep and dream. Pull back from trying to achieve so that you can get an overall view of things. You may be very logical and rational at first, but then free yourself of figuring things out and just float into fantasy. Get out of the stream of purposeful activity. If you do something, do it only for the enjoyment of itself in the movement. This is a mental discipline. Let wisdom come while you rest. Look at what you have to work with. Play with what is at hand. Have no thought of results for now. Live today within your means and see if it can be peaceful there. Everything you have, your thoughts have brought you. The road that has been traveled by others may not lead to your own destination. Appreciate the uniqueness of your being and allow your own path to unfold before you. Appreciate the rewards that your own way of life brings to you. Wow, that's amazing. So it seems like at the end of these stages, maybe after you have like a lot of creative energy, you're going to want to be a very meditative person. This might not be something you get into right away, but you're definitely going to be meditating in the future. And you're only going to be doing things that serve you. You're only going to be working with what you have. You're not going to be... I feel like I need to say that you're not going to buy random things. That is not going to be something that you do at all. It said work within your means. I feel like you're going to use what you have at hand, and that's going to help you create more. And when you do purchase items or spend your time doing certain things, it will be exactly what you need to be doing, exactly what you needed to purchase. I think that's definitely coming through. It just seems like you're going to become a very, very wise person, and you're also going to be somebody that teaches others just by existing. Like, maybe you won't actually be a teacher or a mentor, but you'll just do, and it will inspire others, like this card says. That was really nice. I really like this reading so far, and I think I'm going to move into the oracle cards now. Okay, we're gonna get your oracle cards out, and I'm starting with this self-care card because it says here, says here, take care of yourself so you can shine your soul's light. I really like that, and I feel like that's important. So the basis of your oracles is going to be self-care. Okay, and it says abundance planning. This card also said to be journaling, so that might be something you want to get started on right away. And this card also talked about, seeing the light in situations. So if you're feeling like a lack of abundance, I think it's really important, like, start planning a trip somewhere and write out all the things. Even if you don't feel like you could ever afford that, just write out what you're going to do. It will be fun. It'll be a fun practice. Or just think about if you had $10,000 and like what you would spend with that. Write a list of the things that you would spend with that. And you can also do it in a broad sense where you can just say, I'm going to put money in savings. I'm going to travel. I'm going to buy this musical instrument. I'm going to buy these types of fabrics. I'm going to buy a sewing machine. Like, I'm going to get myself new glasses. Like, just think of the things that you would want, because when you write it down for the universe to see, then it gives the universe a clear path for you to get those items. Like, I make a vision board every year, but this is definitely telling you to write these things down. That's probably going to be the way that is best for you. I'm seeing numbers up here, like it's money, but for some reason, what I'm thinking of is that you also will want to write like specific dates. I don't know why that's like really coming strong to me, is that like write out by which dates you want to be doing certain things. Like if you wanted to move, or if you wanted to, you're like, within the next 3 years, I want to buy a house or something like that, and like write a date. It doesn't mean that you'll necessarily reach it by that date, but for some reason, just putting a time frame on it might just, kind of give you that kick in the butt. Like, what do I need to do to make this actually happen? And then you can break down from there, like, what are the steps, like, for you to actually get these items, these large items, or think about how you can budget, how much money you need to put away per month, anything like that. Okay, and I'm going to move on to your other oracle cards. I think I'm just going to lay them all out, actually. And I'm going to move these down so you can see. I'm sorry they're a little cut off, but I just wanted to be a little more zoomed in today. These two cards, they should have a ritual to do. And we're starting with this red salmon. It is part of the Bestiary deck by Maya Toll. Now these will be rituals that you can do. There will be a ritual, but I think I'm actually going to read the beginning page if it calls to me. Quit gripping and get going, quips Salmon. And she should know. Salmon swims thousands of miles undaunted by eagles, bears, and waterfalls. And just when she's at her weakest and most exhausted, her route turns mostly upstream. This isn't an accident. Salmon didn't get lost or find herself turned around. On the contrary, Salmon is one of the finest navigators to swim the 7 seas. She can always find her way home. Salmon will help you plumb the depths of your own unconscious to discover the energy and determination to get to your soul's destination. Call on Salmon to help you navigate life with determination, meaning, and purpose. It's like, yet again, playing on this Ace of Wands, like, once you do this abundant planning, you're going to get this mass amount of inspiration that is going to give you energy, like actual motivation to do the things you need to do to make your dreams come true. So this first step is like planning, getting yourself balanced, getting everything cleaned out. And then the second step is going to be so much hard work and lots of fiery creativity. Some bad days, but it happens to everybody. And let's see what your ritual is. Salmon travels thousands of miles, first across oceans, then upstream, steering by starlight and the subtle pull of magnetic fields to reach the hatching grounds where she was born. Fraught with danger, first in the ocean's depths where salmon is food for sharks, seals, and humans, and then on the river where she dodges eagles and bears, Salmon makes her way home. This journey is heroic, the final stages more so. Salmon, now accustomed to a seafood diet from years of ocean living, finds no food as she moves up the freshwater river. Her skin begins to dissolve. but determined, Salmon will complete her journey, spawning where she was hatched. Most likely, Salmon will die after laying her eggs. Her body will then leach phosphorus into the water, a necessary nutrient for young salmon, beginning the cycle again. Salmon teaches you that you must give back to the river and the land which gave you life. For the next week, make daily gifts to the land or a river if you have one nearby. Maybe if it's eggshells full of calcium or seeds sprinkled for the birds. Maybe you'll offer mulch to your garden. Give back, and in giving back, remember what it's like to be part of this cycle of exchange. Wow, that's so beautiful. I do always feel that in order to be abundant, you must like want to help other people be abundant too. I definitely noticed that whenever I shifted into an abundant life, it was when I said, I am willing to do the work to make everyone happy. Like, I know it isn't really said perfectly, because there are times whenever, you have to cut people out of your life to make yourself happy. But what I'm saying is to think about the whole, to think about the earth, to think about everyone. When I say, divine, take me to where I need to go to help others, I in turn live an extremely abundant life where I'm so happy and I'm always feeling like I have people there for me, and I just don't have to worry about practically anything. It's because I want to give back. And I think that's what this card is saying. Like, it also is saying, to give back to the earth, maybe with eggshells and those things, like they said, maybe plant a garden. It might be a good time to do that. But while you're doing that, think about how when you're giving back to the earth and giving back to others, it will in turn come back to you. Like, the Justice card is also about karma. And that is definitely coming through strong, is that the more good you do for other people, the more you inspire other people, the more good you do for the earth, it will all come back to you. All this abundant planning, it will come back to you. And you'll in fact find that on your way of helping others and helping the earth, then you were helped. Like, you might find so much peace in having a garden or something like that. Okay, and moving on to lepidolite or lepidolite, however you say it, that is actually what this crystal is. Decided to pull that baby out as well. I'm going to read out of the book for this one. Lepidolite's lilac luster is the stuff of princess dreams and fairy tales. Something in us rebels when we see it, thinking, that can't be natural. But lepidolite's tranquil tones are the real deal, not manipulated or man-made. Don't doubt my authenticity, and don't doubt your own, lepidolite quips. Lepidolite knows, or is it lepidolite? Lepidolite knows that being outrageous, outrageously beautiful, or funny, or smart doesn't make you false. Shining brightly gives other people permission to shine and to show their authentic, multicolored self. When you're able to put down your mask, when you realize the person you see in the mirror, your heart and spirit calm, and your soul takes a deep breath. Let lepidolite support you in breathing in your trueness and basking in your outrageous spirit. You're a freaking unicorn of a human being. Okay? That's what this is saying. You're like this beautiful purple. You got 2 purple stones here. You're a shiny, shiny, amazing person with amazing light and power within you. That's definitely what this card is telling me. Is just to be you, be authentically you. And like I said, just by being you, you will inspire others. Just by existing. Rewrite the book. That's so funny, because this card said about really making your own path in life. Lepidolite is in the mica family. Micas grow in sheets, and when there are many sheets of mica, it's called a book. The stories of our lives are like books of mica. layered tales that over time tell us who we are. Sometimes the way to shift your future is to sort through the chapters from the past and find the ones that no longer fit the arc of the life you are creating. Think of each story as a thin sheet, by itself flimsy, but becoming solid and structural when in a stack with other stories. What stories do you tell yourself that no longer serve? Using your journal, spoken word, or imagery, go into your book and change the story. This is definitely about letting go of past versions of yourself. I think this card also mentioned that, is that, you know, things are going to come up, they're going to peek through, fears are going to come through. Old stories will try to bring you down, try to get you back in your old way of thinking, but you just have to keep shining bright and keep being a unicorn and laughing and making, creating. And I think this card is also saying, like, you might want to actually journal like specific times in your life that you think about regularly. Or something that I do is actually, when I think of a thought of my past, of my childhood, of high school, whatever it is, then I ask my intuition, what did you want me to learn from that? What can I do to make that thought no longer come to the surface frequently? Like, how can I move through that? And sometimes, like, just trying to see the deeper meanings, and it will teach you the lessons throughout your life. I think it's interesting, both of these cards were like talking about like the weaving of stories and how it all creates like the final picture of your life, which is funny because we're like moving up here, and this is like what you will become through these steps. I find that to be really interesting. But anyways, I definitely think that journaling is something that you should do, and you might want to journal about specific times in your life, about specific thought patterns that come up, like, oh, I could never do that, or, you know, people don't like me. Those are really vague, but you know what I mean. Just maybe get more specific about it, and then think about the different parts in your life that made you feel that way. Like, you know, I don't like my body, and then like maybe list some things that people said. And then when you work through that, these thoughts that you have about yourself are actually based on other people or one small experience, it might help you to work through the deeper things that are bothering you on a daily basis. I definitely feel like it's time to do some deep inner work and get really deep inside of yourself right now, because you're about to like light up and become this like magical princess of a person, or prince, but just like a unicorn and just an exciting person. But it's like right now is the time to like balance yourself and get ready for these next stages of extreme abundance. Plan out the abundance, plan out the type of person that you want to be. Let go of those thought patterns that are holding you back. And finally, we have fluorite, which is third eye chakra and spirit guides. So with this card, I definitely feel like your spirit guides are always going to be there for you. You're going to become an extremely in tune person that trusts their intuition, that has a deep understanding of listening to the divine, being a channel for the divine, similar to like what I'm doing right now. When I lay out the cards, I listen. I say, is this right? Yes. I get an answer back, it is from the divine. That is what the answer is. The answer is from my spirit guides or from my future self, or it's just a higher knowing. It's a higher version, and you are going to be completely connected with this side of yourself. I'm also going to pull out the book for this one. Okay, I'm going to read this fluorite card straight out of the book for the end of this reading. Finish it off with this one. Fluorite has shown up for you today to let you know that you are protected by your guides in the spirit world. Fluorite also helps you to enhance your intuition. It is associated with your third eye chakra. It is time for you to trust your intuition and to trust your spirit guides. They will never let you down or lead you astray. There is no need for you to ever feel alone again. If you have your own spirit family who are with you at all times. Connecting with your spirit guides can help you to access a higher source of wisdom and guidance. Connecting with your spirit guides is not hard. You just need to talk to them in your mind or out loud. Be patient with the process because it can take some time to learn how to hear your spirit guides. They can sound like your own thoughts or voice. And remember that messages from your spirit guides may also come as physical signs. For example, you may feel your body heat up or tingle, or feel goosebumps on your arm. I also wanted to mention they can also come to you as visions as well. Well, with this card being reversed, I think that it means that at this time, you might have some trouble actually connecting to your intuition or connecting with your spirit guides. But like it said, it's really not hard. All you have to do is ask for your spirit guides to talk to you. Ask to be a divine channel. Ask to be the light and to make the world a better place. You are one with everything, and everything is one with you. So I think it's time to get in that divine flow and balance with the universe, and say like, what can I do for you, and here's what you can do for me. And talk to your spirit guides, talk to your intuition, your higher self, call them out by name, maybe journaling if you were having trouble. There's something that I've heard that you can just say, what do my spirit guides want to know? And then set a timer for 5-10 minutes and then just write. It might be really weird, but you can try to figure out what it means after it's over. And it's just an interesting interesting ritual to do. I think that is everything I wanted to say to all of you. And I hope that this reading resonated with you. I definitely think it's a really good one. I think that you're going to do amazing things and really inspire people. I hope that this reading resonated with you. I love this reading. I think it's really, really great. I know you're going to do really inspiring things and create so much art and just be a unicorn of a person and really bring a lot of light to the world. And I know you're going to be able to connect with your spirit guides and your intuition. I love you all so much. I'm going to leave my tip information as well as my Amazon wish list down below. And I'm also going to leave all of the cards, all of the different decks that I used today. I'm going to link down below as well if you are interested. And I think that's everything. I love you all. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, pile number 1. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose this little Siddhartha statue, then this is going to be your reading. And I just wanted to mention that I started this reading yesterday with these 3 cards that will be your first steps into the new version of you, your new life. And I find it so fascinating because this card was telling you to rest and, you know, plan a trip, short or small, just kind of take care of yourself. And I actually had to do that. I stopped the reading and I just went to bed and then woke up, ate some delicious food, took my dog to the park, just did what I needed to do to feel better, to get myself on par for making sure that this reading was really just in a good energy and that I was at a good energy level to convey the messages that I wanted to convey. And I really feel that that is what this card is saying, that your first step is going to just be taking some time to rest, fitting that into your schedule, reaching out to some friends, maybe plan a trip, even if it's just a day trip to a park that's nearby. Really take a minute to just look at the little bugs in the grass and just have a moment with nature. And I definitely feel like that is the very first step you have to take, because that was the first step I had to take to even get through this reading. I was already to this card when I decided I just want to start this over when I am feeling my best. And I feel that way now because I took that time. I got myself a coffee, like, get yourself some water, do what you need to do. Like, even right now, get yourself some water, drink some water, and take care of yourself right now. This next day or two, I want you to really care for yourself. Like, even if you have to work, even if you have to do those things, fit in some time to just do what you want to do, sit in nature. I believe that's what this first card is saying. I'm going to read the book too. But I wanted to say that because it is coming through and it's something I had to do. Okay, it says Six of Swords, hope at last, travel. The Six of Swords is a card indicating recovery from difficult times. Hope is on the horizon. Things will get better. It's important to rest, revitalize, and surround yourself with joyful friends. Plan a trip, short or long. Even getting out of town for the weekend will further lift your spirits. And it's funny too because I was just dealing with a lot of stress, honestly, like things that I didn't even need to be stressing out about. I'm like trying to get a house in Florida right now. And I have a place to stay, like I'm in a safe location and everything's fine. I'm just being impatient. So I was getting all stressed out because I wasn't finding a house right away. Like sometimes you'll realize that the things that you're stressing out about, you really don't even need to stress out, because I know that the universe is getting me a house that is going to be absolutely perfect for me. That is why I'm even turning down a lease that I was offered, because it didn't have what I wanted. It didn't have a garage. This is just an example, but I'm saying I realized I was getting so worked up and so upset when there's nothing to be upset over. There's no rush. It's going to be okay. Everything happens at the right time. And just reach out to some friends. Maybe just go to a park for the week. That's what this first card is saying. That is your very first step that you need to take. And the Father of Wands here, I'm going to probably read a lot of these out of the book because I really love what the book says for this. Charismatic, creative. The Father of Wands is a man of mystique and charisma. Others are drawn to him naturally, and he welcomes them with an open and loving heart. Usually you'll find him involved in the healing arts, as he's deeply compassionate and in tune with life and nature. He is able to hold steady and still during conflict. So this is the type of person that you're going to want to be. This is who you want to be manifesting as who you are. You want to be someone who is charismatic, like who would go up to a stranger and introduce yourself. You want to be someone who is interested in the healing arts. So if there is something that you're interested, like for instance, Reiki, tarot, massage therapy, there's so many, hypnosis, there's so many different healing arts. In fact, even just art and creating music and anything like that, being a yoga instructor, etc., etc. There's so many things that you can do. Even if you just pour the intention of healing into what you already do, just cooking a meal for your friends or family, things like that, that is the type of person that you want to become on this next step. Like, first step is taking care of yourself. Second step is going to be trying to just make yourself into this like new version of yourself, like force yourself to be very charismatic if you were not already charismatic. Force yourself to do art and research healing arts. And I'm sure you're already extremely deeply compassionate person. And it's saying being in tune with nature. So if you haven't been getting out as much as you'd like, definitely get out there, even if it's just for a couple minutes every day. And make sure that you are just experiencing, like I said before in this, look at the bugs in the grass, look at those little things, and just experience nature. That is in your first step. The first three cards here, this is the first stage, and then the second two are going to be areas that are opened up to you once you have achieved this first stage of steps in your new life. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to be working on. Also, it said holding steady and still during conflict. So you know, being very true to yourself, knowing your own morals, but not getting super upset or flustered when somebody goes against your morals around you, or just anything like that. If people are upsetting you, you're going to want to meditate or do something daily, so that you can go back to that feeling of peacefulness in a situation where someone is upsetting you. So let's say that you don't have a very good work environment where somebody like often says inflammatory things that upset you, then you're going to want to spend time at home actually practicing your being in a peaceful mental state so that you can go back and harness that power, get into your inner sanctum, and make sure that you are able to go to that peaceful place no matter what is happening. That is another part of the first steps that you will be taking. And with the High Priestess here, the High Priestess represents someone who is a channel, a divine channel, who listens to their intuition fully, does not ever deny their intuition. And with it being reversed here, I would say that that is something that you need to work on in order to open up the next steps. Is going to be always trusting your intuition. There are times, I must tell you, that even I don't trust my intuition. I almost always trust my intuition, but there has been times where, maybe you want to believe the best in someone. Like, my intuition would be like, don't tell them that. They'll, like, ruin the manifesting that you've been trying to do, or something like that. But you want to believe the best in them. Just listen to your intuition, because your intuition knows what's best. I know it's hard sometimes to actually listen, because you want the best in people. Like, if your intuition is like, don't hang out with them, and you're like, oh, but like, they're my cousin, like, I really like them, they're my friend, like, and your intuition's like, do not hang out with them, and you go hang out with them and get into trouble. Like, obviously this is just an example, but I'm just saying, like, always trust your intuition. Always, no matter what, your intuition knows what's best. Your gut, what the soft voice inside your head, it knows what's best. So that is what this card is telling me, it being reversed, is that there are times when you do not trust your intuition. And in order for you to open up these next stages, in these next steps in your life, you're going to have to fully trust in the divine channel. Fully trust that if you are getting a message, it is the right message and it is true, even if it doesn't feel like it should be true, even if it's upsetting that that is the message that you are getting. Like, it happens to everyone, even me, I just want you to know that. Everybody, will have days where they don't want to trust. Like let's say you vape or something like that, and it'll be like, don't vape. It's like, it sucks to hear that because you are truly addicted to that. Like, I've been told that message many, many, many times that I shouldn't do that, and it's something I'm working on. So it's not easy. It's not a one-step process. Don't like don't think that it's just going to be like you make that choice and then it's done. Like, it took me like 9 years of not wanting to drink to actually not drink. And you can ask for the divine to show you ways to get to those steps. So let's say the divine says, don't vape. And you're like, well, how can I not vape? What steps should I take? Well, like, should I use toothpicks? Like, what should I use as a replacement? What should I use as methods to help me, like hypnosis or anything like that? Like, what should I use as a replacement? So just know that you need to trust your intuition fully. Every single day, every single thing that it tells you, or if it's a vision or whatever. And if it tells you to tell somebody something, tell them, even if it doesn't feel right at first, because it might not be something that you're used to doing, is being like a divine channel, just naturally saying every single thing that is coming to your mind that is supposed to be coming out. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate, is this me, is this my ego talking, or is this your intuition? Ask your intuition to show you how to understand its messages. Ask for help if you don't understand how to work with your intuition. You will find that your intuition will help you. It wants you to use it, so it will help you. I definitely think that's what this card is saying, and I was able to get that message out much more clearly uh, due to actually resting this last day, because I got to this card yesterday and I was like, you need to trust your intuition. And I was just so tired. I just couldn't even convey the message that I wanted to say. So the first step is to just rest and take care of yourself. Okay, so once you've completed these first stages, this is what's going to be opening up to you. The Knight of Pentacles says, he's toiling and tilling his lands and enjoying every minute of it. More practical than other knights, he improves things for himself and for those he loves, and his steadfast and consistent with his steadfast and consistent momentum. Devoted to solidifying foundations, he assures you that extra care today will multiply your harvest tomorrow. It's time to show fierce loyalty, pride, and trustworthiness, and tend to your home while uncovering your unwavering ambitions for the future. Sometimes this energy is so stable that it feels repetitive. So if you are feeling resistance, or if you'd kind of prefer to stay in bed, find joy in the progress. The journey is the thing. Uncover heart-stirring enthusiasm by allowing yourself to believe in something brighter. This is a card of infinite expansion, and with time and faith, your seeds will take. Follow through on your plans and promises, and move any stagnant energy that's blocking you from your dreams. Seed by seed, I plant my future with rock steady foundations of faith. So this is definitely because this card is in here. Once you have this flipped, every single thing that you do, because you're trusting your intuition, you're following the faith, basically, of knowing that you know the way, then you'll be planting the seeds for success, for abundance. That's what this next stage is going to be always trusting your intuition. And sometimes that, like it said, it feels repetitive, or it feels like you're not doing much, basically, but you just need to know and have faith that when you're following your intuition, that you are planting the seeds for a really successful life. As long as you're just connected and in tune, and I definitely feel nature, because there's so much nature happening here. Being in tune with nature, I feel like, is extremely important for you. If you are connected to your intuition, then everything that you're doing will be for your better life. And it also said that to find joy in the journey, like this is the second stages. So it's just funny because you might be laying the foundation, but you need to always remember that you should be excited about even laying the foundation, even getting yourself prepared for this new life. You should be excited about that part, about caring for yourself, about finding out about your intuition, about becoming an extremely charismatic and healing person. Like, find joy in becoming those things. Find joy in starting those things. Find joy in the journey. That is what this card is saying, is that so many opportunities will open up for you, and all you have to do is just enjoy life. Like, make sure that that is a huge part of your life. Don't forget to have fun along the way. Like, there might be many opportunities that come, but just make sure that you are having fun, that you are enjoying what you do, that you are planting seeds and sowing seeds for a beautiful new life that you want, with interests and hobbies that you enjoy doing, and surrounded by people that you enjoy in places that you enjoy. And just make sure there's that time every single day that you are getting your bare feet on the ground, or just painting, or just doing something that makes you feel connected, even if it's just for 5 to 10 minutes. Seriously, just go sit in the grass. It's nice outside now, probably wherever you are. Just go enjoy what the world has to offer. Don't stop enjoying it, okay? And the Queen of Wands, let's see what she has to say to us. The Queen of Wands. You are capable and fierce. It's time to root into your purpose and boldly step into the limelight of your life. I love how it said step, because I'm doing a staircase reading that I kind of came up with on the fly. The Queen of Wands radiates creativity and passion wherever she goes. When she enters a room, her exuberant charisma and confidence are palpable. Wow, that's so funny, because that's what this is saying as well. Like, the universe really wants you to inspire other people just by being exciting and being artistic and charismatic, and just saying hi to people and enjoying your life, like having a smile on your face all the time, whatever you're doing. Like, I know there are days that really suck, and maybe those days, like, only hang out with your besties that will understand when you're having a down day. But like, when you go out there into the world, like, you're gonna be somebody that's just like glowing with energy and light, and the universe really wants you to be that person that inspires other people with your creativity and your passion. That's what's going to open up after you take care of yourself and after you trust your intuition. And like this card said, working on the charisma and the creativity. Like, if you're not already that type of person, write down what type of person you want to be, because the universe wants you to be an extremely charismatic and creative person. I know sometimes there are days when I don't want to talk to anybody. There's been even months where I don't want to talk to anybody. But if the universe was calling me to say, you need to be super charismatic and talk to as many people and make people's day and light up the world, then I would listen. And that is what the universe is telling you right now. Don't be afraid to be the center of attention. And for goddess's sake, stop acting small in order to make those around you more comfortable. Make sure fiery bursts of productivity are accompanied by laughter and gratitude, connection, appreciation, and love. It's okay to hold shadow in all of this light. Don't push it down so deeply that you can't find it again. Accept the parts of you that you don't openly share. The past failures that you have held back, they don't define you. So transmute that shadow. Sit with it briefly and then light it on fire because you don't need it anymore. I fill my world with an intense light that connects and incites passions. Wow, that definitely ties in to a lot of what this card was saying too, is that you just need to enjoy the journey. You need to just be the light. And it said that, like, just like I said, there will be days you feel sad, you know, there will be days that you have hurt and all, and the bad, the shadow. And it's like, yeah, sit with those days. Like, I'm not expecting you to have a smile on your face every single day, but you will be able to work through that so much faster if you actually sit with it. And like, I'll just tell you what I did today, because I lost out on a house that I thought I was going to get. And I was trying to make rash decisions. I'm like, I'm just going to tell him I don't want it and all this. Like, I'm just like, and my boyfriend's like, no, let's think about this. Like, we got offered a house we don't really want. Maybe we want it. Don't make any rash decisions. So what I did was I took a shower and I said, I'm feeling hurt right now. I'm sitting with hurt. Hurt, why are you here? Tell me why you're here. And Hurt was like, see, I talk to myself back and forth. Maybe this is just a Gemini thing, but I think that everybody has the ability to do this. And Hurt said back to me, I'm here because I thought I was going to get something and I didn't get it and it hurts. And then I sat there and talked through, why is this a feeling that you've had in the past? Like, you talk to Hurt like it's a person. Like, it's so funny that you got the Buddha, because I've read a Buddhist text and some Buddhist texts, and that is how he thinks. That is how the Buddha thinks. Like, he's taught that, is that you aren't hurt or you aren't upset. You are with hurt. You are with upset. They are just like these negative forces in the world that exist, like the yin and yang, and there's nothing wrong with them. Like, if you sit down, like he says it, and have a cup of tea with your demons, you know, so sit down and work through the feelings that you have. Ask why they're there. Ask what things in the past have created that feeling, or like what ways can you help ease that feeling out of the day. You know, that's what I did. I sat there, and by the end of my shower I was feeling really, really good, and I knew that I needed to go outside and get some coffee like I like to do, and, you know, play with my dog and just enjoy nature and things like that. That I knew I needed to do that after I sat down and talked through my hurt inside my head. It happens to everyone. Everyone has these so-called negative emotions, but if you work through them on your own, or maybe if you do have a therapist or somebody that like a really close friend, a significant other that you really like to talk to about those sorts of things, then you will be able to go out into the world and shine your light and have this beautiful, beautiful smile on your face for everybody to see. That is how I am able to go out in the world and not have a frown on my face every single day, because I do try to work through the feelings, the negative feelings that I have on my own, actually. And I'm not saying that works for everybody, because some people absolutely need therapy and need to talk to someone or something like that. That is, I'm just letting you know what works for me, okay? And maybe someday I'm even going to get therapy, because I'm sure that everybody could use a little bit of therapy. But I'm just saying that there are options that you can choose to do right now. Like, I really enjoy doing them in the shower. That's totally up to you. Like, you can journal, you can do visualization, you can do it outside every day with the sunset, whatever works for you. I just want you to know that you are able to work through some of these emotions just by talking to yourself inside of your head. That is what this next step is going to be. So your first steps are just getting outside, reaching out to friends, taking a small trip. I definitely feel like taking a small trip is really important. You might find some really important information or make some really important connections, or just really feel reinvigorated by nature. And then you're going to want to become a very charismatic person and into the healing arts if you aren't already. You're going to want to trust your intuition fully. Then you're going to want to enjoy the ride and sow the seeds of new success. Follow your intuition in order to do this. And just work through any difficult feelings that you're having, whether that's with somebody else in with a therapist or even just in the shower. And then you can go out into the world and shine that creative and amazing, exuberant, joyful light that you have that you can give to the world. So that's going to be what's opened up to you after you've worked through the first steps. And I'm going to move on to the last card. Let me move these down. I know you're probably not going to be able to see them, but I want you to be able to see this. Oh my god, that scared the crap out of me. My dog just opened the door. Oh my god, Darcy. You are a scary dog. How did you even open that door? Crazy dog. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. I just pulled the Ace of Pipes, and this would represent the Ace of Wands in the original tarot. So this would be like maybe your highest version of what is to come, or I would say probably like some spiritual wisdom is what I wanted this card to be. So almost like considering your rising sign in astrology would be like who you are becoming. So yours is the Ace of Pipes, which is inspiration and excitement. And I thought it was interesting because you have the Queen of Wands here, the Father of Wands, and the Ace of Pipes, which represents the Ace of Wands. And Wands is like inspiration. So that's definitely something like creativity and creating in general, creating art, creating any type of art. Doing literally anything with intention is art, basically. So let's see what this says. Prayer. Great Spirit, I am ready. Great Spirit, I open my day with a prayer to you. I look to the east, to the rising sun, and I seek direction. It is springtime in my heart, and I am ready. I listen for your call and ready myself to receive the wand of power. Ignite in me the energy of creation. Inspire a life divine. Awaken me in all possibility. Wow, that's amazing. Like, I think that it's just time for you to fully accept your divine nature and basically have the universe hand you the pipe, hand you the wand in order to take over that creation, because you will be so in tune with your intuition that you know you'll always be doing the right thing because it is divine. And if you ask to be that type of person and to be a good person that is doing the right thing, you will be given that sort of power. And I think it is time, like right now, basically, to accept that. The wand has been given to you. Lesson. Awaken to inner resources. The magic wand of creative sexual energy is stirring. This is the kindling of desire. Depending on the level at which your consciousness resides, you are feeling one of the following: a strong need for personal space, increased awareness of your own body, a deep drawing towards family or friends, and a desire to be part of a group that needs you, extra energy to express yourself, an overwhelming desire to do something useful and beneficial for the world, an urge to speak out, sing, or otherwise be heard, artistic inspiration, or an increased longing to merge with God. You may feel more than one of the above. Puberty and menopause are 2 times in your life when the creative sexual energy column in your body is filled with excess energy. At these times, the universe gives you a boost of power to get you on with your particular forms of self-expression. At other times, you must work spiritually to open such energy gifts. You must open to love and open to inspiration or higher consciousness. At these times, you are suddenly compelled to express, and you feel the freedom to do so. Your appetite is being whetted for a finer level of experience than you have ever had before. You are filling the pipe with fuel, the force that will eventually alter your consciousness. The pipes of Pan are calling to you, to the hidden nature of yourself. The morning sun is dawning in your consciousness, calling you into the process of illumination. This is a new beginning for you, a new opportunity. Don't be afraid of its initial wildness. Wow, that's insane. That's just like a culmination of literally everything that I was already saying in this reading, with basically trusting your intuition and, you know, basically God passing you the wand, and now it's your turn to start creating and to inspire others. And it's truly an amazing and humbling experience to be a channel of divine energy, to do good for the entire world, and to understand the unity of everything, and know that when you give, you are giving back to yourself and to everything, and it is for the good of the future. And, you know, it is with communities that we are able to make such amazing changes. So I definitely believe that it's time for you to create a really strong community for yourself. Be a part of a community. Something's telling me maybe try to go to a kirtan event, or just some sort of something where people gather in intentional spaces. So seek those out. Very important that you seek out spiritual places. Whether that's like going to a place where Reiki is done, or going to metaphysical shops, just seek out places like that. You want to be in those places because you are a very spiritual person, and you are going to be able to just flow with life, to be one with life. It is no wonder that you got the Buddha. One with life, the peace with life. Okay, I'm going to take a little moment to drink my drink here, and then we're going to move into the oracles. And the basis, the foundation is with self-care. That's why I'm using the self-care deck. Wow. Make an altar. How beautiful is that? I love that. Yeah. You want to do everything with intention. So, I love making altars. It's something that makes me really happy, placing things in just the right place. I feel like the frequency of the house is just right. Like, you can add in plants, you can add in pictures of loved ones, candles and statues, and whatever you have. It could be so bare minimum. You could even make an altar outside with just branches, you know. But then, like this girl is, just sit and look at the beauty, the art that you have created. It brings an energy to a space that is so personal, that you put that there, and you can have intention the entire time. This is for the love of me. This is for the love of the world. This is for the love of the earth. It's for the love of everything. Or something more specific. This is going to be for me getting a new house. This is for me having a baby. Whatever you want in your life, you can make that happen with even just an altar and just sitting by it daily. Like, you put that intention out there. The universe speaks in any language, and intention is just like the mover, the flower. But you write something down, you make an altar, you think it in your head, that's all intention. Every single little thing that you do is an intention. And I think an altar is just such a pretty and beautiful way to do that. And the universe is calling you to make an altar in your house, make a little special place. Even if you already have that, redo it. I love redoing them. It just like gets that stagnant energy moving. And since that's on the first layer of your staircase that we're building here, that's going to be one of your first steps that you do. Maybe you want to make an altar that is for Always trusting in your intuition, since it's right next to this card. And we're going to move on to these beautiful cards. This is the Bestiary, and this is the Herbiary. And these cards, they always come with a ritual to do. And the beast that you got is the orca. How beautiful. It says, dive under the surface. So yeah, it's time to get in there and get into your like inner sanctum. You know, there, like when you close your eyes, sometimes you can visualize like what's outside of you, maybe your room because you've been in it so many times or something like that. But not a lot of people, I feel like, actually try to look within. It's not a practice that I feel like is talked about on like how to actually do that. And I feel like take your eyes and try to pull them in towards your heart. Just like imagine looking within. A lot of the times for me it's actually quite dark, but then you could try to light it up. Like today I did a practice with like lighting up a lighter, like imagining a lighter inside of me just lighting up in my heart space, or trying to go, you know, within, maybe like right behind your nose. Because a lot of times I feel like when we go within, we're going up to our brain and then we're thinking, so much thinking. But I feel like if we meditated and we actually moved it lower, if we tried to be lower, like it's a hard concept to even like convey. But I feel like it's just something that you have to try if you haven't tried it. Just move lower in your body, even down to your root, and try to be focused in that space rather than in your brain space, because I think your mind can just go. And like sometimes it's really helpful to imagine a light there as well. I would be cracking up if this is like something that actually said to do within this card. Let's see. Let us see. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm talking so fast in this reading. Like, I don't know. I'm just very energized today because I got my coffee. But I hope that I'm conveying the messages clearly to you. And if I am speaking too fast, like definitely feel free to go back over the video and slow it down. I know that you can put the playback speed on YouTube to like 0.75 or something like that. If I am speaking too fast, I am sorry about that. Okay, the orca, it says, let's look at the ritual here. Orca communicates and navigates through sound. Whistles, which don't carry long distances underwater, are used for private communication, while pulsed calls are used to communicate to an entire pod. Orca in the same pod share a common dialect, or group of sounds to communicate with one another. Orca finds her way around through echolocation. The echo from a series of sounds helps her determine distances and the location of objects to navigate. We humans know the way sound carries through the air. It's completely different underwater. Next time you take a bath or are in a pond or swimming pool, put your head under the water and experiment with making different noises. Feel the vibration in your head and jaw. Notice how the sound bounces or doesn't in the water. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. Wow, that's so real. Like, it truly is an energy game out here. Once you realize that everything is an energy, like when somebody says something negative to you, you feel like almost like some darkness has been shot at you, or like you feel a little light has been stolen from you. That is truly how the world is. Like when you walk into a room, you'll be able to feel the varying levels of dark and light, and then you might even get to a point where you'll be able to feel like the colors, and that's literally how I think at this point. Like I just see everything as an energy. I can see people's auras. Like this is probably something that you might be able to do. The way that I started doing that is like just start looking in between your fingers and look for like a glow, And then you'll be able to start doing it on plants and on people eventually. But yeah, you'll just notice that the whole world is energy. Like once you shift into this like divine way of thinking and trust your intuition entirely, and really just are one with nature and the universe, you'll see how the energy works and how people use it and how they don't really know how to make it for themselves, so they take it from other people. Like you have to be a very protected person, especially when you're a spiritual person that's very like positive and uplifting. Like you have to have like a protective bubble around you. People don't want you to be so amazing. Like they don't want you to have all of the good in the world. They're jealous, whatever it is. Like they feel like they can't have it for themselves. But just keep on inspiring, keep on doing you. Do not let people like that get you down. In fact, in those times, you should be even more protecting yourself, taking a bath and imagining a white light bubble around you. Do visualization techniques, like make an altar, do these things. This might sound a bit crazy to you depending on the varying level of like how spiritual you are at this point in your life, but just know that you are going to be this type of person. This is the stages, this is the steps of what is happening to you in your life. So be prepared for a completely different way of viewing reality. That is what's going to happen for you. I didn't even realize this until now, but this card is white sage, and I literally put white sage on the table in between when I did the oracles, because I went outside and saged myself, because I actually had a friend message me and tell me, like, have you ever done a return to sender spell? Like I'm feeling vibes like maybe somebody's like feeling like a bit negative towards you. And I was like, I'm just going to go sage myself, set up a mini altar right now. I did. I set up a mini altar with an angel statue, my little Jigglypuff rose quartz, and like a little onyx point. And then I put some of my essential oils on and I saged myself and I did a little meditation. That was just in between this reading. So obviously I knew I did that for a reason, because that was definitely something that you needed to hear. It is so crazy. Like I literally did not know that this card was even here. I actually pulled that out. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I pulled that out in between the two before I had even looked at these. I don't look at them before. I just put them all down, face down before the reading. Anyways, let's read what the white sage says. Life can be sticky. Members of the sage clan have been used in multitude of cultures for clearing the invisible wisps of energy that cling barnacle-like to people and places. Whether you think of those energies as your own spent emotions or the leftover emanations of someone else's, sage can help you make your peace and move on. Sage is sacred because it clears the way, creating a blank canvas and an open path, allowing you the opportunity to reach your full potential. Sage's appearance tells you that a block needs to be cleared, whether you can name it or not, so you can move forward. Totally, like, I just was feeling like someone's energy was kind of blocking me on this like new path that I'm trying to get a new house. And I don't need to know who the person is. If I'm feeling that way, then it's time to clear myself, whether that means using black tourmaline, whether that means just getting a shower and using maybe like a salt scrub, any way to cleanse yourself. But this is specifically asking you to use white sage. I barely ever use this because a lot of people say that, you shouldn't use white sage unless you are a Native American. But I was gifted this, so I feel like if you were gifted it or if you got it in a like sustainable way, it's probably totally fine. Like it's totally up to your morals and like what you think, but there are many other ways to cleanse yourself. So if like even if you have asthma, you can't cleanse yourself with smoke. There are other ways to cleanse yourself. So let me read this. It says, smudging Smudging uses smoke from sage, cedar, palo santo, sweetgrass, and other culturally important plants as a blessing or way of clearing negative energy. It does for your energy field what hitting the reset button does for your computer. The ancients believed that burning released the plant's spirit so that it could assist in keeping the air clear of emotions and emanations of illness. Modern science shows that sage smoke contains volatile compounds that kill airborne bacteria. And so the ancient and modern align. Even if you've smudged a zillion times before, smudge regularly. You can use white sage or culinary sage, which both Celtic and Middle Eastern cultures have used for this purpose. I would definitely say also Native American people are the people that even call it smudging. A lot of witches will say that you shouldn't even use the word smudging because it is not from our culture, and some people consider that cultural appropriation. So that's totally up to you. Like I said, like that's your morals. Like I don't judge other people's morals, you know. Do what you feel you should do. Maybe look into that further if that is a practice. It's something that was fought over widely in many Facebook groups that I was in. I almost became tired of seeing it. I'm like, okay, you know, I'll use only what's gifted to me, right? Like that's where I held my ground with it. So it's up to you. Smudging is simple to do. Take either a bundle or a loose piece of sage, light it, and then tamp out the actual flame so the leaves are smoldering and smoking. Move the sage around your body or home so the smoke touches everything. If you're smudging a person, be sure to pass smoke over the palms of their hands because that's where we make contact with other people. Here you go. I think it is so crazy that I did that and then pulled that card. Like, that is how life is. Like, I just follow my intuition. My intuition told me to stop, to do that. That is what I needed to be doing at that moment. And that just goes to show you how important your intuition is. That just goes to show you how divinely in tune that side of you is that tells you to do things like that. That is proof right there because I went and did that. And I just knew that that was what I needed to do because I listened fully. And that's what this reversed high priestess card means, is that you really do have to listen fully. And I'll probably take a lot of this advice that I'm saying in here, you know, if that means smudging yourself, even if it's with maybe not Palo Santo because it is an endangered plant, but smudging with cedar, like it said, or even just using essential oils. There's so many options to cleanse yourself. You can even just do it by meditating and imagining white light. And finally, I'm going to move on to the last card, last part of the staircase. And you got Angelite. Wow. Your angels. I actually don't even know about this crystal, to be totally honest with you. But it says throat and crown chakras. So throat, that's going to be, you're going to want to be speaking your highest truth. Like, that's a lot about what this path is going to be about. You definitely are going to want to be, it said charismatic, so you're really going to want to be talking to people. And then crown chakra is your connection to the divine, which again puts together everything that we've been saying, and trusting your intuition. And the angels, I don't even think that this card needs to be reversed, but the angels, that's something that we really didn't touch on in this reading at all. And I think your angels are just there for you, and that's another thing that you can connect with. So maybe when you're making this altar on your first steps, maybe there's an angel that you want to call on. There's a lot of different types of angels, so let me show you this card a little closer. There's a lot of different types though, and there's different names that they have. Archangel Michael, Master Hilarion. There's like so many different ones. Maybe like a certain one will call to you. hold on, actually. I'm going to get out my angel deck and see if one... Okay, I got out this energy oracle. I'm pretty sure that this deck has some angels in it. So I'm going to shuffle these and see if... Ooh. Okay. Oh, wow. Archangel... What is that? Camuel? Action. Oh, yeah. Action, action, action. Well, what's this one? I don't even know who this is. Hostilites. I'm going to have to look into these. But it looks like you got some extra cards. Here we go, though. Like, I don't even know. Like I said, there's a lot of angels I don't even know. So, this might be an angel. What is it? Camuel? Or, I might be saying that incorrectly. Either way, maybe call on this angel. Like, I think everybody has certain angels that really, like, jump out to them. Like, for me, it's Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. But it totally depends. Some certain days, there's certain ones that are calling out. I just wanted to mention this card. Wow, it's like go, 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 go. Like, I think once you've done this, like, resting stage, this second stage, especially with this card coming out too, like, planting the seeds, going, there's horses again. Go, 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 go. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of doing just all kinds of stuff, probably a lot of travel in your second stage of life. So definitely once you have this first step down, don't be surprised if things just start going. I want to look into this card though, because I really don't know about this card. I went right to it. Defense is up, aggressive energy. Oh, wow. Something's telling me to tell you that, like, I feel like this is how your angels are about you. Like, they got your back. They're, like, protecting you at all costs. I love how he has, like, this energy inside of his chest. Like, remember when I was saying to like go into your inner sanctum, go inside and try to light a fire within and make a white light bubble? It's like actually saying that over again. I love that. Okay. It says, this aggressive energy may be verbal, emotional, with someone in your environment being excessively critical, demanding, or hurtful. In a work or social situation, there may be backstabbing or slander going on. Okay, so it says, whether this is new or old energy, now it's time to regain control. Allowing dishonoring treatment from others is an open invitation for to the universe to send you more. It may feel risky, but you need to have the courage to stand up for yourself now and always. Okay, so that's just like an additional message that's being sent to you that came out of this deck. I wasn't even using this deck for anybody else, but because this angel light came out, I was like, I need to go. I know this deck has angels in it, and an angel did come out for you. But this is really important. Like, it's saying that when people are wronging you, like, you have to stand up for yourself. You always have to speak your truth 100%. 100% of the time. Do not let people walk on you. Always tell people exactly how you're feeling. Like, it might get you into sticky situations, but in the end, it will be a really good life because you know that you said what you needed to say and did what you needed to do. You didn't let anybody walk on you. You just say, no, I don't like the way that you're treating me right now. I would appreciate if you wouldn't say that anymore. That actually hurts my feelings. And if you do say it again, I might have to put some distance between me and you. Like, that is the kind of person that you're going to be. Yeah, sometimes people think that means you're a bitch. But it doesn't matter what those people think because you just have to do that. It's so important to be true to who you are and to speak your mind and to never let anybody walk on you. Like, set clear boundaries, and if people step on them, then like remove those people from your life and tell them exactly why. Say, you stepped on my boundaries and I'm not going to deal with this. That this is not necessarily something that you're dealing with right now, although because I feel like it's touching this first layer and into the second layer, this is going to be something you're dealing with for, you know, a time in your life. Like, I think every single person deals with that. There are times in your life where you're like, wow, I really didn't like the way that that person treated me, and you just have to say something. It's happens to me. Like, it is definitely happened to me. It happens to me all the time. And I just completely speak my mind. Like, and I really want you to make sure that you're definitely living that way. If you feel like you aren't doing one of these things, if you're having a really hard time doing one of these things, standing up for yourself, being creative, planting seeds, taking rest, connecting to your intuition, taking action, doing one of these things, call on your angels, call on your intuition, ask for help from the divine, ask for help. You will get help. I promise you. If you say, I really want to connect, I really want to understand how to do this, or all the puzzle pieces will start aligning. Everything will start fitting. I think that that is everything that I wanted to say for this reading. But it was an extremely beautiful reading, and I really enjoyed doing it. I hope that it resonated for you, and I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day wherever you are. I absolutely love you. I'm going to leave my tip information as well as my Amazon wish list and all of the decks that I used today. I will also be leaving below. And I just want you to know that I love you so much and that you are an amazing person. Bye, pile number 2. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose this Jasper little lizard, then this is going to be your reading, and I'm going to hop right into the first part of the staircase, which is going to be tarot cards from the Wild Unknown deck. Oh, we got Temperance in here. That's one of my perfumes, so I have to pull it out and put some on. It's about balancing the emotions, and boy, do we all need a little bit of that, I feel like. Okay, starting out with the Fool here. The Fool is about the beginnings, the start of something new, which is funny because this is the start of your first steps into your new life or your new journey. And the Fool is about knowing that sometimes you fail before you fly. Actually, over and over and over, you fail, but you still go out on that journey. And even knowing that you can fail over and over, you still will enjoy it and have this like blissful sense of like childlike wonder about the world. And there's so much to explore, there's so much to see, there's so much to experience with life. That is the energy of the Fool, and that is the energy that the universe wants you to bring to life. Like, just be excited about every single new step and new stage in your life, because once you open up and have that energy inside you, it is going to happen in the external world. You're going to start having new and exciting things happen to you when you have that energy inside of you. Like, you have to create it for yourself before it can happen sometimes. And with the Mother of Swords here, the Mother of Swords is your mind. Like, you have this very sharp mind, or the universe wants you to get really into your like logical side of thinking. Like, there's going to be a balance here, because you know the Temperance card's all about balance, fire and water. So there's going to be a balance to this as well. Like, the universe wants you to have balance in having a logical point of view and feeling things out, in being like blissful and childlike, and also having this like, I'm setting up for my future. So like, there's a very fine line and thin balance, and be patient with yourself. That this card is also really about being patient with yourself while finding the balance between these two feelings, between being a master and a like, we got this tiny little baby bird and this grown adult, strong, very sharp, very, like, people look to her as like a symbol of wisdom, of intelligence. So you have both inside of you. Like, that is what your first step is going to be, is finding a balance within yourself of being excited and also knowing that you know the way. Like, you will fall and know that you will get back up and you will do amazing in life. That is what these cards are telling me. I'm also going to read the Temperance card just because it's such a beautiful card, and I feel like you know what, in fact, I'm going to read the Fool too. Spontaneity, innocence. The Fool is ready to fly, his young wings ache for flight, and with a single step he leaves behind the comfort of the nest to begin the journey through the major arcana. Is he ready? Will he fall? This is a card about beginnings. It points to the side of you that is spontaneous, excited, naive, and inexperienced. Others may doubt your abilities. Be ready to be called the Fool. Be ready to fall. No matter what people say about you, this is your journey and it's already begun. I had to read that. I just love these cards. They have such beautiful writing. And let's see what Temperance says here. The great blue heron remains calm and peaceful as she blends the opposing elements of fire and water. The Temperance card asks you to be a moderator, much like the heron. Focus on cooperation and compromise. If you've been excessive in one aspect of your life, practice self-restraint and moderation now. You'll find a new sense of healing and balance from bringing a little harmony back into your life. I think there's some really important words that need to be focused on in this card. So focus on cooperation and compromise. Yeah, if there's anybody that you've been having difficulties working with, really try to talk this through. Ask the universe for guidance, and try to come to compromises rather than like my way or the highway, or their way or the highway, that kind of energy. Really try to come to compromises and see what you can do to remain calm and peaceful during those situations where you feel like, no, it has to be this way. Try to find that inner peace inside of yourself. And then it also said, if you've been excessive in one aspect of your life, bring a little self-restraint. So obviously, if there's anything like too much drinking, too much spending, too much time on social media, there's a million things that we all have problems with. Like, I have problems with it. Every single person in the world has difficulties with one thing or another. So don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up. Just be patient with yourself and know that that is a goal that you have. It's like, you don't have to achieve it on this very first level. Just know that it's a goal you have. Ask for help. Ask for like actual divine help. Pray for help. And then another thing that it said was bringing a little bit of harmony back into your life. And this always reminds me when I read that, is to bring music into your life. Dance and just, play happy songs for yourself every day. Make sure that, or if you do play an instrument or sing or something like that, if that's something that you used to do and you no longer do it again. This is the call to do it again. I always feel that this card is saying that to bring music into your life, it will make you feel so good. And I'm going to move on to the second set, which is going to be what can open up to you once you've kind of worked on this part, having that childlike wonder and knowing that you know the way, bringing a little balance and harmony into your life. Once you've done these things, these next cards, wow, the world, and the Six of Pentacles. These next cards are going to tell you what is going to open up to you, what next steps will be after these first steps that you have to take. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I took a little mini break to eat some food, so maybe that's a sign you need to eat something. But we're on the world now. The world brings one of the most positive and abundant messages in the tarot. Congratulations, you've come so far. A large project or period of your life is coming to a successful conclusion, and it's time to revel in the sweet afterglow of your success. If you're not quite there yet, take this card as a sign that you're on the right path. Consciously step into the world's ascension energy and welcome this beautiful shift as your inner spiritual landscape merges with your outer reality. As you reach this stage of fruition, remain focused. Don't slacken your resolve as you glimpse the magic at the end of a long journey. Because it's time to follow through with your final steps and complete the cycle, even in shadow, the world is a positive card that signals bliss and happy endings with oodles of positive energy on the way. I accept this gift of completion and I ascend to new levels of awareness and wholeness. I am love. That is so beautiful. So, definitely you are on the right path. That is what this card is saying. And that basically after these steps have been taken, you will feel this like sense of wholeness, of like completion. And really, because it is reversed, I think that like even in the next stages, you'll still be like striving towards this wholeness and completion, but it will be close and it will feel close and everything will feel good and right, and you will know that you are on the right path because it feels good. I think that's what this world card is saying, is that once you've done these things, you know, bring that childlike wonder and all the things I said down here, you are going to feel so good. You're going to feel so connected with the world. You're going to feel like you've really completed something in your life. Like you've done a lot of inner work, and your outer world is going to reflect that. And with the Six of Pentacles here, to me, this tells me that the money is going to be flowing. Like you are going to have a lot of money being able to come to you. It's going to be through connections. It's going to be through possibly selling some of your own goods, or buying other people's goods. Even if that's not the case, it's just money is going to be flowing in this next stage of your life. You are going to have a lot of money. That is what this card is telling me. Let's see if there is any specific things that it says. Being open to give to others and receive from others are the state that we must all cultivate. I think that because this card is reversed, you definitely need to remember that you are allowed to receive. You are allowed to receive. You are a good person that deserves good things to come to you. And that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Like, I think that when we get that mind state down, then the abundance just flows. If you don't think that you're good enough, if you don't think that you deserve it, I mean, everybody struggles with imposter syndrome. Even if you're like the best artist or whatever you do in your life, even if you're the best at it, you're still going to be like, I shouldn't be doing this. This sucks. I'm not good at this. And you're going to have days like that, but you really have to train your brain to be like, you know what? No, that's not true. I am awesome. I do deserve a good life. I am really good at this. I'm going to be really good at this. And you say those things in your mind, that abundant mindset is going to start coming to you. Oh, being open to give to others and receive from others are states that we must all cultivate. This card asks you to experience these consciously. How does helping others make you feel? It feels good, right? Abundant, heart-centered, gifting your time, money, or energy to someone else will open up the floodgates of new resources coming your way. Be generous with everything you have learned and remain conscious of the flow of abundance from the universe. Consider these sacred dualities: learning and teaching, receiving and giving, accepting and offering. Open your heart to this sacred balance of energy and fill any gaps you have around scarcity and abundance. It will imbue your life with compassion and generosity and usher in new states of prosperity. Donating your energetic resources to help others will be life-changing for those in need. Choose a cause that moves your soul and watch your feelings of prosperity shift. I show gratitude for my life through generosity and compassion. So, in the next stage of your life, you're also going to be doing some kind of like charity work, or just doing something for the community, something that you're extremely passionate in that is going to benefit your community, your country, whatever it may be. It's going to feel really, really good to get into this mindset. Even if it was just like going to the food bank once a month and donating your time, or like giving some objects that you had in your house that you're no longer using to somebody that really needs it, or giving a ride to a friend that's like kind of down and out. Whatever it is, you're going to be in a state of like really helping others, and it's going to be really helping you. It's going to open up so many opportunities for you. You would be so surprised at just like helping one person out. They'll remember that for the rest of their life, and they will sometimes like pay you back in the most spectacular and magical ways. Not to say that you should ever be doing something because of that. Like, that is not why you should be doing it. You should be doing it because it feels really good to help people. But I'm just saying, in the long run, that is really how life is. Like, if you are a good person and you do good things for other people, so much comes back to you, and you'll know that, you'll feel that, you'll feel this wholeness. Like, that's what's going to happen to you. But this is reversed, so I definitely feel like you have like a scarcity mindset. That's probably something that you've dealt with in your life, where you feel like, I can't have a lot of really nice things, or I can't have a really nice house. Like, I'll never be able to afford a lot of vacations, or just like something like that. So there's something in the back of your head that's saying like, I can't have that. Like, this American dream is dead. And it's like, well, it kind of is, like, but it's not really. Like, you can still live a very prosperous life inside of your soul. Like, you don't have to have all the super nice things on the outside. Like, you can have those things and they could come to you. But like, just know it's all in your perception, to just be like, I'm really lucky for what I have, and I'm so grateful, and I love helping others, and getting help from others is so important. Like, I really need help from others. Don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? But the American dream is not dead, okay? Because you can just dream up the life you want to live, ask for divine intervention, and I mean, most of the time, I've either gotten what I wanted or got something better, or the universe put me somewhere I least expected it, and it really was a lot better. So I think you're gonna start understanding like everything happens for a reason. That sort of energy, like always seeing like, oh, this might not feel good in this moment, but this is gonna take me to the right place. Like, I'm not worried about it. I feel at peace. I feel divinely connected. And in this next stage, you definitely are gonna have like a culmination of everything moment where you're like, I can't believe I did all that. Like, look back on everything like, wow, look how far I've come. I mean, like, I've really bettered myself. This is amazing. Like, that's going to happen for you on this next stage. And finally, we have the Medicine Woman Tarot, Discernment, which is Judgment. Okay, Discernment. This is a very long card, so I might just like read over some of the most important parts. The affirmation says, I recognize the circle of life brings undeviating justice to all things, events, and beings, as all unite in consciousness. I realize my every thought, word, and movement affect all creation. Through time, the great circle returns all things to their maker. Oh my God, that's like so what the world is about too. It's like karma. It's just being good, that you're going to get in a state of just like flow, of just understanding the energy flows of the universe, and how just giving out with love makes you feel so good. It makes your life so full. And understanding that, like, back to the Mother of Swords, that your mind is so powerful. Like, even just the thoughts that you think, even being like, I really want that, then you can have that. And that's what this card is telling me as well, is understanding that to gain complete control over your mind, and understand, like, there will be days when you have intrusive thoughts or things might happen like that, but you'll know, no, that's not true. No, I don't agree with that. No, I can be abundant. No, like, and you just brush it off and you just keep moving. Okay, I have looked over this card, and gosh, it's such a beautiful card. It basically is just saying that you will realize that you are one with everything, and everything is one with you. There is no separation really between us. Like, I mean, technically there is, but we really are all just little pieces of the same thing. And once you realize that, you'll just understand life at a completely different level. And also, you know, I think like in my early on stages of realizing these things, I still was like, oh, but these parts of the puzzle are wrong. Like, this is wrong and that's bad. And it's like saying, no, everything is divine. Everything is exactly the way it should be. Don't worry about those parts. Just worry about your part, and lighting up your piece of the puzzle, and lighting up maybe the people around you. And just understanding that when somebody's being outwardly mean or bad in some way, like, it's not bad, it's just projection, maybe it's a lesson. But when you view life like that, as like, this is another piece of me, this is another part of the whole part of the puzzle, then you don't think of someone as evil or bad. You just say, okay, you are a piece of the puzzle. Maybe you need a little bit of extra love, but maybe I'm not going to be the person that gives you that, because, you know, I could work better and help more people if you are not in my life or something like that. But just saying, everyone is part of it. Every single little thing is part of the whole, and you can help. You can be a light, a little light in the grid of everything. If you just choose not to judge yourself for your past, if you rise above that and choose not to judge others, everyone falls back into the old patterns of judging themselves and judging others. It's just important to always keep rising above, over and over, keep rising above. I think that's what this card is saying. And it also mentioned, I wanted to say, that it mentioned about food. Like, if there are foods that make you feel unwell, you really have to stop eating them. Or if there's something like, for me, alcohol made me so sick. And other certain things like eating a lot of pizza, like really greasy and cheesy foods and things like that, just make me like so sick. So it's just something I realized that I had to stop eating that, and I had to really start focusing on my diet, like eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, starting my day with fruits every day, and always making sure I'm getting lots of vegetables in there. But it's difficult, I'm not gonna lie, but it's definitely on your steps. I think it's kind of cool how this is like, the Fool is like 0, and then you got the World here, which is like the whole, and then you have Discernment, Judgment, which is also has the whole, and then here's like little pieces of the whole all working together. You know what I mean? I definitely am seeing a pattern here that you are, this is something that you're like learning, like this unity of all consciousness type energy. I'm going to move these down here and get your oracle cards out. Okay, starting with the foundation of self-care. Soak in a bath. All right. Well, on your first steps, maybe this is even the very first thing that you want to do on this new part of your journey, is set an intention. Make a little nice bath. If you don't have a bath, you can always use a shower. But get some candles if you have them, if you like them. Use your favorite lotion. Get some crystals out, maybe incense. Do what makes you feel good and have like an intentional soak or an intentional shower. Maybe use like a salt scrub or something and say, this is the first step in my new life of being part of the whole, of being one with where life wants to take me, of having this childlike wonder and having mastery over my mind and having just balance and flow and abundance. Just think of all the good things that you want for your new life that you're going to live, and just do a little intentional bath. That's what this card is saying. I think that would be a great way to start off on this journey. Anything, there's so many ways to set an intention, you know. There's journaling and visualization and vision boards and altars, and there's art and music and just creating anything. But this is a great way to just show yourself a little bit of love and set some intentions for your new life and your new journey and the next steps that you have to take. All right, moving on. We have nettle. Wow, there's a lot of nettle around me where I live. And imperial topaz. I love how that's like a little harvest. This says, pay attention. I actually wanted to say that this card also said that, is that you're supposed to just listen, honestly. Like, it actually said do a chant of Om and then just be silent for 30 minutes. Goodness, it would be hard for me to be silent for 30 minutes as a Gemini. So ridiculous. But yeah, this card is saying pay attention. It's also like giving me the like listen and using your like third eye, your third eye focus. I'm gonna open up the deck for that. These cards, they have a ritual in them. And what is this? This one says pay attention, and this one says you live in abundance. Oh my god, isn't that crazy? There's so much abundance happening here. You have like this flow of abundance happening for you, this like completion, this world is like this unity, and then like just the fruits of your labor flowing out. It has like crystals and candles too. It's like, it's funny too because there's crystals and candles in this one as well. So it's like you're already abundant. You already have these things, or have the ability to have these things, and this is like at the highest level. You still have that. So it's just about realizing, seeing that you do already have abundance. It's like, pay attention. You're already abundant. Pay attention. You're already amazing. Let's see what Nettle says. Yeah, there's a lot of nettle around me. I don't know about you, but there is a lot of nettle around me. So maybe you want to dry some nettle. Let's see. Nettle says, See me, and really, isn't that what each of us wants? To be seen and acknowledged? Make this your ritual today. See the people around you as unique individuals. Walk through the world with presence and acknowledging in your heart your family, the people with whom you work or study, the folks standing in line with you at the market. In your mind, say 2 unique things about every person you meet. When you slip into your internal world, that place where other people become a bit blurry, consciously pull yourself back to being externally present. As you focus outward, imagine every cell in your body being aware of the details of life around you. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be really important that you just like, it's so funny that it said that everybody's so unique. It's like, that's the beauty of it. Everything's so unique down to the cellular level, and yet it's all one with the whole. Isn't that amazing? That duality, that the balance, the paradox of life is that everything is one and yet it's so unique. Like, see the uniqueness and beauty in people. Just really see people, even speak that truth to people that you are close with, or even strangers. I mean, I was doing that at some parties I'm at. I'm just speaking my truth, like, hello sir, you look like you need some love. Like, you know what, you're a really good person, you deserve a good life. And I'm just speaking my truth, it's just coming right through me. Just see people and see them for who they are and say, wow, that's a little piece of God. Wow, that's a little piece of the universe. That's amazing. That's so magical. I like every single blade of grass, every single bug, every single thing is a piece of it, is a whole, it's part of it. And that's beautiful. Like, take notice of how amazing that is on a daily basis. It will change your life to view things like that, to view people like that, to say, wow, you're just a little piece of it and it's beautiful. Thank you for existing. Like, if you get into that mindset of just like thanking people for existing, even terrible people, you're just like, thanks for existing. Maybe they'll be a little better, or maybe you'll have a little bit more good karma on your side. But it doesn't matter. It just feels right. It does. You'll realize that, to just say, wow, that's beautiful. Thanks for existing. Even if you didn't feel that way before. Even if you're like, how could I possibly ever feel that way about this? Just give a little love to those pieces of the puzzle that need it, because I swear that's where our energy is supposed to be going right now, because that is what's going to help us in the long run, is helping the pieces of the puzzle that aren't quite getting it yet, right? And let's see what Imperial Topaz says as well. Okay, 71. Foods change as we chew them. As a piece of bread or cheese breaks down in your mouth, layered flavors emerge. When you rush through a meal, you miss a good deal of what's on your palate, including the sense of abundant richness eating can provide. Make yourself a meal to savor with all your senses. You don't have to cook something fancy unless you want to. This experience works just as well with pizza or a fabulous dessert spread. That is so funny that I said pizza hurts my stomach when I pulled that out. Choose an environment that ignites your senses. A forest for some, a boudoir for others. Light candles or string twinkly lights. Set out some flowers, add some music, use your favorite table settings, invite interesting conversationalists to join you. Now slow down and savor, relax over this experience, and allow it to fill you. That is so funny that I said that this card also talked about eating, because that must be something that you're definitely going to have to work on in these stages, is being like super mindful. Like, fruit is such a good one. It has pomegranate here and like fig. The crunchiness or the explosions of flavors and the juice in your mouth, it's such a good way to practice mindfulness, to experience life. It's so simple. Like, every single person I know has access to fruit. You should be able to get some sort of fruit, or like some kind of fruit. There has to be a fruit you like, if maybe you're a picky eater. Choose a fruit, and like, I've been doing this recently. Take a banana or a kiwi. That's what I've been using. and I go sit outside and I just put my feet in the grass every morning and I just eat it super slowly. Like, if you do have to work in the morning, like, try to wake up a little earlier to do that, to slow yourself down at the beginning of the day. This might not be something that you're going to do right away because it is on, the third levels. So, this might be something that you're dealing with for a long time, because trust me, I know I don't even want to get into it, but I've dealt with eating problems for a long time in my life, and I've noticed that doing things like this, like really slowing down and appreciating the food that I'm eating, or like slowing down and making myself a really nutritious meal and trying to pour gratitude and intention and love into that meal, it makes me feel so much better when I'm done. I feel like I can go on and do things like this, like readings like this, and convey the messages that I need to do when I have eaten. Like, I always have a bad day when I haven't eaten right. Every single time. Like, you are what you eat is so real, honestly. Like, and I know not everybody really does have the time or access or financial stability to eat like a super whole and healthy diet. Like, that's really not possible for everyone. I totally completely understand that, but I think that, like, this will be something that you will be achieving in your life, is like to eat a very healthy, very vegetable, fruit oriented, maybe some like really healthy grains and maybe beans and nuts and things like that. Like, that's like what is showing here in here. And also make your meals like an intentional experience, like light a candle or like put crystals out on your table when you're eating. I know that seems a bit bougie, but like, do what you need to do to feel the intention and mindfulness in your daily life. Like I said, this might not be something that you're able to work on at this exact moment in your life because it is on the third layer. So, let's say you do get through this step like super fast. Who knows? Like, this step could be very, very soon, or this might be something you want to integrate in. But I definitely think that you should keep that as like a goal, to eat like an extremely healthy lifestyle. And what do we have here? Communication, throat chakra. Well, yeah, so definitely speaking your truth at your highest level. That is what this is all building up towards. I'm going to pull this out. It says, I'm just going to read parts of it. It says, words are very powerful. It's time for you to communicate clearly what you do and don't want. When you are positive and clear about your wants and needs, you can manifest or make things happen a lot more quickly. Try to release any fears of being judged. Wow, that is so crazy. Like, judgment. Up here in the corner, it says judgment. I definitely feel like that might be something that you're dealing with, is that you feel like this card also talks about being judged, but you have to just go. Everybody struggles with that. I feel like everybody's like, oh, like they might judge me, or maybe my lifestyle's a little bit weird. Well, guess what? We're all weird, okay? We're all different. We're all unique. Just like this card said, we're all unique in our own special ways. So don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to carve your own path. Don't be afraid to just sparkle with your own little sense of who you are. Don't judge yourself. Like, and honestly, most of the time, people aren't even judging you. It's a lot of the times it really is an illusion in your head of thinking that everybody's going to judge you. And if there are certain people in your life that say like cutting deep comments, like it definitely happens to me where people judge my lifestyle, I do try to like move away. Like, I don't want to be around those type of people as much. Like, sometimes it's not possible to be like completely away from them, but like to be a little bit lower contact with those type of people that are constantly saying like, oh, why would you do that, and oh, that's a silly way to do that, and just always are judging your lifestyle, I definitely try to inch myself away from those type of people if it's at all possible. Okay, and it says, try to release any fears of being judged. Also, try not to worry about hurting other people's feelings. You can express yourself and communicate what you need to say in a strong yet compassionate way. I feel that, like, today I was trying to get a house, and I felt so bad because I decided that it was not the house that I wanted. And my boyfriend's like, why do you feel bad about telling these people that are gonna have plenty of other people that want this house? They're just trying to make money from you. Like, you don't have a relationship with them. Like, why are you worried about saying, I don't want this house? It's just like, I think a lot of us are people pleasers. It's so natural to want to be a people pleaser, and like you end up getting walked on when you do live like that. So you always have to just speak your truth and nothing but your truth. This card is called Blue Lace Agate. So if you are having trouble with your throat chakra, maybe this is a crystal that you want to purchase if that is something that is possible for you. I actually don't even own a crystal like this. It's really, really beautiful. So that is something I wanted to mention as well, is that if you do struggle to speak your truth, then maybe like keep that crystal on you. And it also says that that could help with public speaking if that's something that you want to do in the future. That might be something that you end up doing in the future, is public speaking. So that might be what everything is leading towards. I know this is like a really, like, this is like in the future, you know what I mean? So sometimes we can't think of these things as happening right now, but this is just laying out some steps that are going to happen in your life. And it all starts with being the fool. It all starts with just learning to fly, and definitely trying not to judge yourself on this journey. Understanding that your mind is so powerful, and a lot of the times it is creating illusions that hold you back. And it's important to have patience and to balance the many facets of who you are. And on this very first step, just go ahead and take a bath or shower and just give yourself a little bit of love, and really go the extra mile with this, and get some crystals and candles and make yourself feel good. I think that's everything that I want to say. Pile number 3. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day wherever you are. I thought this was a really fun reading, and I hope you enjoyed it and it resonated for you. I absolutely love you, and I'm going to leave my tip information, my Amazon wish list, as well as all of the cards, all of the decks that I use today. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I love you. Goodbye, pile number 3. Bye. Hello, pile number 4. If you chose this little black tourmaline that my friend sent me, then this is going to be your reading. And I'm going to get right into the first set of tarot cards, which will represent the first stages, the first steps that you need to take. Ooh, the devil right off the bat. Yeah, these will be the first steps that you have to take in order to start the next stage of your journey. And the very first card here is a massive call to you that you're going to have to seriously work on any addictions that you have that can take form in any way, shape, or form. We're talking to substances, to people, to shopping, to food, to difficult scenarios and situations, addicted to negativity, addicted to social media, addicted to comparing yourself to other people. Addiction comes in many, many, many forms. And the very first thing that you need to work on in order to level up is to really start thinking about how you can quit whatever is holding you back. For me, that looked like hypnosis and finding other things that work for me. Maybe this would be natural substances that work for you, or this could be finding a tea ritual, or maybe YouTube channel that's about budgeting or control over your shopping mindset, or just seeking out different ways and methods to help you. Maybe this looks like therapy. Maybe this looks like seeking out metaphysical people that maybe like do Reiki. Whatever this looks like to you, it's time to really start buckling down on whatever this addiction is that you have. It could definitely be to a person as well, just so you know. And once you've got over the hump with that, I think that's gonna really start out everything for you. And this card, I'm almost positive, is about always staying grateful for what you have, and always staying in a like gratefulness mindset. I'm gonna read this. An outsider would look upon your life and see supportive relationships, pleasures, and even a bit of luxury. But you don't see it that way. Instead, there's discontentment, apathy, and even greed for more. The Four of Cups warns not to take your situation for granted, or the people who supported you along the way. Look around you. What are you truly longing for? Name it. It's definitely possible that you're not greeting for more or anything like that. Like, I definitely want to say that I think there are other parts of this card we should be more focused on. So the part that says like, what are you longing for? Name it. That is definitely what you need to be doing right now. Figure out what parts of your life you want to change. Figure out what parts of your life need the most work. Figure out what type of living situation you want. Figure out what type of career you want. Figure out what type of daily habits and what type of people you want and what type of person you want to be. Really define your goals. It's really important that your goals are defined so that the universe can give you them. And like I said, this card is really about being grateful. It's really easy to compare in this day and age with social media, but we have to remember that just having a roof over our head and food in our bellies, even if it's not always the best roof or the best food in the world, just even having a little bit of something means that we're a lot better off than most of the world, and we have to remember that. That doesn't mean that we can't long for more. That doesn't mean that we can't think that we deserve a luxurious life. It's just something that should always be in the back of your mind, that we are so lucky with what we have. Just feel lucky, feel abundant with what you have. That's what this step is saying. So first is going to be dealing with addictions. Then your second step is going to be, this could be really done throughout everything. It's just feeling grateful for what you have. And this last step, it really says like, where are you going to go with your new set of wings? It really says almost the same thing as this card said, like, what are you longing for? Name it. I know that's what this card is saying. I can pull it out, but I'm almost positive that that is what this card says. It says, victory, success, rising up, From the dark and tangled branches emerges a butterfly. New life takes flight. If you're not reveling in the joy of success already, you will be soon. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, of rising up against the odds. The obstacles have been relentless, but now is not time to look back upon them. The more pressing question is, where will you go with your new set of wings? I knew it said that in this card. Where will you go with your new set of wings? Once you've dealt with this hold on you, this addiction, this whatever it is that's holding you back, name what you want and you will go there with your new set of wings. All you have to do is name it, and the universe is setting you up for success. It's funny that you got the black tourmaline, because black tourmaline represents cleansing, and that might be a stone that you want to use to maybe help you on this journey of cleansing yourself of any of the addictions that you may have. And moving on to the next steps that are going to be opened up for you. Oh, wonderful. The Three of Cups. Once you deal with these first steps, this is what's going to be opened up to you. And first of all, the Three of Cups, that means what I'm going to assume is probably some amazing, really close friends. Once you deal with these first stages, I think that you will either find new, really, really close friends to enjoy and celebrate with, or you'll just become closer and on a different level with people that were already in your life. This also means that it will be time for celebration. It will be fun. You will just be happy and filled with so much joy. And the Page of Swords card here, I'm going to have to read that one out of the book, actually. I'm not quite sure. This is from the Light Seers Tarot, by the way. So, yeah, I wanted to use multiple different tarot decks today. I thought that would be kind of fun for the different levels of the different steps in your life. Okay, it says, curious and intelligent. This page has a thirst for knowledge that seems unquenchable. She's incredibly quick-witted communicator, and she's often compelled to share her many ideas or messages with others. At times, she's so talkative, it becomes too much for others to process, and her intense energy can come across as unsettled or even nervous. She suggests using an air of inventiveness in your current pursuit. Your goals will be met by walking a path of honest discovery, especially where others are concerned. Keep the light bulbs of curiosity turned on, and cultivate a beginner's mindset as you strive to learn new things. Avoid falling into gossiping or even arrogance with your communication. In shadow, this page can be all talk and no action. Remember that everyone who crosses your path has something specific to teach you, and that mirrors are all around. Remain open to unexpected lessons. Share truthfully and delight in every interaction. I learn and I expand my consciousness and open up to new opportunities for my life. That's funny, it's saying that on this next step, it will open up new opportunities. And that's exactly what this card is even saying, that more opportunities will come to you through being a very honest person, and also just the pursuit of knowledge, the pursuit of understanding. That's definitely what this card is telling me, is that you will be on a path of just figuring life out in the way that you figure it out, and dealing with difficulties in the way that you do, like tightroping over it, you know. You're just going to be a very open-minded person that is on the pursuit of knowledge. That is definitely it's saying to keep your curiosity turned on with life. So that's something that's going to be on your next step. It does say here that your goals will be met. So I just want to say that is that any goal that you make in this stage, like if you, it said, what do you want? Name it. Those goals are going to be met. And you're going to get to celebrate with your bestest friends in the world. You're going to have a really awesome life. Just enjoy it along the way, okay? Oh, yeah, and I also wanted to say that this card says to keep a beginner's mindset. I love that. Like, there are things that I've become very good at, like blending essential oils or even tarot, but I still keep a beginner's mindset even with things that I've done for years, because there is so much to learn with every single subject in the world. You will never learn it all. Just imagine yourself as always the beginner. And really, that's like the masters. There's really no such thing as a master in my mind. But that's like the master's mindset to me, is to be a beginner always, to always be on the pursuit of knowledge, always feel that you can learn things. You can always learn things from the student. You can always learn things from the student perspective, but also to teach someone else something, you learn so much from that process. So that might be something that you're going to do. I'm definitely just getting a super like intelligent and like reading a lot of books and having a couple close friends, and I don't know, just a really like, I don't know, like kind of a loner, not a loner, but like just kind of a lone wolf vibe to you. But I mean, you still have really close people in your life, but like you have no problem. You will, at least at this stage in your life, have no problem just like sitting reading a book by yourself for a long time. Like that's the kind of energy that you will have at this stage in your life, where you were just content. You were just so content. You don't need any of these addictions anymore. You're just like, I'm doing my life. I'm living my life, and it's great, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm learning, and I love learning. This card definitely gave me an air sign vibe, because I'm a Gemini, Libra, Geminis, and it said like talk so much it makes people like nervous. I swear that's me. That's why I'm able to do readings like this. That's the air sign energy. I feel like is the like speaking your truth, speaking the knowledge, just even whenever it's almost a lot for people, just continuously doing that, always speaking your truth. And lastly, this is like kind of the more spiritual, oh wow, this is the more spiritual card that I was kind of like, this is like your peak, like what you are pushing to be like at your very highest good, which is so crazy because this is actually the first card that I ever pulled from this deck, because I asked this deck to introduce itself, and it was like the most beautiful thing, I swear, I've ever read in my life. I feel like I have to just read it because it really humbled me, and it talked about being at your highest good of understanding just like the power that is passed to you by being a spiritual person, and knowing that you are connected and asking to do the best for all people and all things and the entire earth. And when that is passed to you, to know to be humble and to know like never to be like holier than thou, that kind of energy, like always take that power and know that it is not even you, it's the divine. Like be humbled by that. It's, you are only a channel, you are only a vessel for the bigger picture. I think I'm going to read that card anyways, because it was truly such a beautiful card that I just feel like I seriously have to read it. Let me get my water. Maybe you gotta get some water too. Oh yeah, something just came to me. With these books, I definitely think you might find some really interesting information in spiritual texts or religious texts. Maybe reading like Buddhist texts or Taoist, or just reading like a myriad of different religious and spiritual texts. It might be a way that you can find the knowledge that you are looking for, and it might really help you, even like self-help books and things like that. Eckhart Tolle. um, Somebody also recommended me How to Do the Work. That book is really good. But as I was saying, the Power Lodge of the Pipes. I want to read this card. It is so beautiful. Prayer. This is my peak of excellence in living a spiritual truth. I am able to give my wisdom to others who come my way. I empower others by encouraging their own talents and abilities, giving opportunity to the potential within them. As I observe the qualities of God within, I bring them forth. In my creative work, I have found you, Creator, living and giving life to all I do. My art is my heart, filled with love for you. And all who receive my art are thereby blessed. This work I give, in beauty I live, I have expressed one quality of you. You are the power that has attracted all I love. I am the power of you. The lesson. You are adept in the use of your creative, sexual, and spiritual energy. You have gained access to power. Your challenge is to handle it humbly, considering the good of all. You cannot deny your beauty, expertise, creative achievement, or quality of craftsmanship. But you are still a human being learning to fully carry out the Creator's plan. The purpose of the wand that has been handed to you is to cast a magic spell of hope on the world. The purpose of carrying the pipe is to assist others in using their creative, spiritual, and sexual energy in a masterful way. Use your power to praise Mother Nature's creation, to acknowledge the source, to herald the dawn of a peaceful age, to uplift those who cannot yet see. Use your power to heal, to love unconditionally. Devote yourself to serving the spirit within all that lives. Oh, I love what that says. I feel so divinely connected to it. Like this is like your ultimate goal, and like the ultimate stage is to truly understand that you have been passed the torch basically from the universe, and it says to spread hope, to spread love, to be a light, and just really try to inspire others, to make others feel good, and to always remain humble in saying, I am but just a micro piece of the puzzle, and the true beauty lies in the infinite of the unity of all beings. I think a really important part of this card, it says, uplift those who cannot yet see. So, that's what I try to do with these readings, is to say, we are all one, or say, you are a good person and you deserve abundance, or whatever message it is that somebody needs to hear. I hope that it comes to them. And it sounds like that's what you're going to be doing. Like, you're going to be saying the right words, or just doing the right things in front of people that is going to make them feel really good, that is going to put them at peace, or send them off on their own creative endeavor, or excite them to live a different lifestyle. Like, That is what I do by doing these readings and living my life the way that I do. So it's a balance of both, and I think that that's what you really are. That's what everything is leading up towards. You're going to really inspire people with your peaceful nature, with your inspiring words, with the way that you live, with how intelligent you are, your knowledge, and you're just going to really, really, really inspire people. And that should be your goal. Um, if you want to write down, like on this first card kind of said, in this card, where are you going to go with your new set of wings? Maybe this is something you want to write down. Like, I want to inspire pretty much every single person I meet. That might be something you want to write down. And we're going to move on to the oracle cards. Right here is going to be your self-care. Oh, meditate. That is so awesome. The bottom row is like, your first foundation. So this is going to be something you really need to get into. It's funny because up here, your like highest level, you're meditating and like sending out energy to the animals and sending out energy to people playing music and children, and like you're in a temple. So this is where it starts. Like, I would definitely try to meditate. And you don't have to meditate by like sitting cross-legged like this, even though it is coming in strong that, both of them, they're sitting cross-legged. That is not how I meditate. I meditate laying down or like sitting outside, or even just doing yoga or playing with clay. Whatever, I try to meditate just doing that, and I try to get in there into my inner heart space, or into my throat, behind my nose and my third eye, or into my root area. I try to go inward, but also maybe stay connected. So like there's this spiral happening here. It might be a good idea that when you're meditating, you like imagine a beam connecting you up and maybe even down, connecting you roots into the earth. Or like you could even imagine this, a visualization of like being on a hill with all the flowers and this like beautiful grassy area. Imagine yourself in a lotus flower. Imagine like a rainbow coming out of your head. Try to use this as a visualization technique. You do not have to be sitting like this though. You can do this however you want, and you can also be doing something with your hands. It does not have to be a completely still process. I know that a lot of people are not able to stay still, and that is totally fine. Okay, moving on to your next cards, which are going to be Emerald from the Crystallary deck and St. John's Wort. St. John's Wort from the Herbiary deck. Now these cards are going to be rituals that you can do on your journey. So it might be part of your next step. The first step will be meditating, and then we'll see on your next layer of steps in your life. Emerald will have a meditation that you can do, or a ritual that you can do. Okay, it says, in Taoist stone medicine. How funny is that I said maybe Taoist? It's definitely coming through. Buddhism and Taoist texts might be something that you really want to read. It said, in Taoist stone medicine, emerald is said to be specific to the eyes, helping you to see truly. When you need clear vision, sometimes it helps to view the world out of a different set of eyes. To do so, imagine embodying one or more of these animals. Eagle, who can see a rabbit hiding in the grass from 2 miles away, and then zoom in. Tiger, who can hunt easily in the dark. Chameleon, whose eyes can work independently of each other, allowing them to take in multiple views at the same time. Mantis shrimp, who has 3 eyes on individually rotating stalks. Talk about getting the full picture. And can see 12 bands of color where human can only see 3. Seeing the world as your animal would, ask yourself these questions. What's the essence of this situation? What am I in human form not seeing? That's really interesting. So with these eyes, you know, it's asking you to view life from a different angle. That might be something that you're going to want to do on this next stage of your journey. And it sounds to me like visualization techniques, like with these eyes coming in, like think about your third eye. I definitely think that you should be using visualization techniques. Just like I said in this card, imagining a rainbow, imagining a light, imagining stars shining inside of you, imagining you sitting on a lotus flower, imagining you viewing life from different angles. It might seem a bit difficult at first, but just try to awaken that visualization that can happen inside of your own brain, even if it's a little bit blurry or fuzzy at first. And if you have struggles with visualization, then maybe you want to write. You can say, I want to view life from this angle, and this is the difficulty I'm facing. And then just set a timer for 5 minutes and write from the view of the animal. It might seem a little bit weird and cryptic at first, but you can usually decipher and discern what the animal or that viewpoint is trying to tell you. And then moving on to St. John's Wort from the Herbiary deck. This will give you another ritual that you can do. And this ritual might be something that you're doing in the long term. So it might not be something you want to do right away. Like the first stages will be to meditate, and then maybe visualization, and then whatever this one is saying. Sipping sunshine. Like St. John's Wort, you can store sunshine. Stand facing the sun with your eyes closed and your feet planted firmly on the earth. Feel the light coming through your eyelids. Breathe the sunshine in through your nose and taste it on your tongue. Repeat often, allowing the sun's fire to stroke your inner fires. A feast of radiance. It sounds silly eating the sun. I stood there with my eyes closed, but I couldn't understand how to eat energy. Someone lightly smacked my arm. Little Auntie chastised me in a way that needed no translation. Self-consciously, I opened my mouth and found that I literally could eat the sun. I could feel the golden light as I swallowed it down. So this is about energy work, about learning how to get really positive and uplifting energy just from the earth, just from the sun around you, planting your feet into the earth and literally eating the sun's rays. I know it sounds crazy. This is on a more higher level and a higher stage in your life, but eventually you're going to get to that point where you're just taking in positive and light energy from just standing in the sun with your bare feet on the ground. It's definitely going to be something that you're doing in the future with a lot of really good intention in your heart to accept the light energy through your soul, through your heart, through your open mouth, and through your eyes. And finally, we have selenite. Oh, I love it. Peace, crown chakra. Yeah, I was definitely getting like a Taoist and Buddhist vibe. Peace. And selenite's one of my absolute favorite stones. Let me go get one. Here she is. Absolutely adore selenite. Let's see if I can get it. Look at that. Selenite is so beautiful. And it's all about healing. It's all about peace. It's all about, just like the card says, it's like the absolute channel connection to the divine. It even looks like it, you know, it's just like glowing and light. That's what this card is asking you to attempt to achieve. Like that should be your goal. That another one of the things you want to write down when you're thinking about, or you don't even have to write it down, but just think about in this first stage is, I want peace. I want to be connected. I want to just speak divine light into this world. Have that be part of where you're going with your new set of wings. Your highest good is peace and healing others. There's a lot of, you know, this meditational vibe, this very peaceful, like just sitting and just reading by yourself. You know, maybe just relaxing, looking at the stars with a few close friends. That's the energy that's going to exist in your life as you move forward. That's your highest goal, is to be at peace, to be connected, to be divine light, like I said. And the first step that you can take is working on these addictions, working on these troubles, this negativity, or whatever it is that's holding you back. Ask for divine help. Ask to be the peace. Ask for steps on how to show you the way to get this energy out of your life, because I know you want it out of your life. And always be grateful for what you have. Write down exactly what you want in your life. And definitely really important first step would be meditating in any way you see fit. Lots of visualization and meditation. I think that is everything that I wanted to say to you all today. I am going to leave all of the decks that I used today down below, and I'm also going to leave my tip information as well as my Amazon wish list. I appreciate you all so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. I hope that this reading resonated with you. It was so much fun to do, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. I love you so much, pile number 4. Bye, babies. Hello, pile number 5. If you chose this beautiful little intention spell jar that I bought for anti-anxiety from this girl at a show I went to this past weekend, then this is going to be your reading. I'm going to hop right into it, starting with the 3 tarot cards from the Wild Unknown deck. These will be the basis of where you can start laying your foundation for the new steps in your new life. And let's see here. Okay. Well, with the 3 of Swords coming out, you know, it's not the best news in the world, I will say that, but the 3 of Swords is the card of heartbreak, truly. I mean, this could mean the end of a relationship. It could mean the end of a relationship with a close friend. It could even be a relationship with a family member. It can even be relationships with really dark parts of yourself, but I'm definitely getting that something needs to be untangled, untied, and you're going to have to move on from that. I'm pretty sure that this card also says, like, there's nothing left for you here, and it's only time to move on. All of these cards kind of are like this card as well. It says, like, I think it says, like, what expectations do you place on others? But reversed, I would say that people probably place a lot of expectations on you. And it's time for you to, like, cut cords with those expectations. And maybe, like, some of the people surrounding you, your cups, like, they're supposed to be, like, your friends that fill you up. like the loving soul family. And I feel like this card is telling me, like, maybe you don't have those type of people around you, or not enough of them. And it might be time even to completely move or completely shift your life. That's definitely what I'm getting from this, is like maybe end with a longtime partner, or like completely stop talking to one of your parents. Like something very drastic, I feel, is supposed to happen with this Three of Swords coming out, and this Eight of Cups. I'm going to actually read straight from the book. This reading, like, I do apologize. Not everything can be all happy and sunshiny. But it says, the Eight of Cups sends an urgent message to pack your bags and move on. There is no hope of rekindling what's been lost. You must start anew. This card also points to phases of physical stagnation. The message could not be more clear. Nothing good for you remains here. Lift your eyes to the horizon and let your feet lead you forward. So, this might mean a change, complete change in career, complete change of where you live, a complete change of your friendship groups, or your significant other. Definitely with this Three of Swords coming out, it's going to be hard, to untangle these ties with whoever it is or whatever it is that's keeping you stuck and bound. But it's definitely time, because once this whole shift happens, that's when these next opportunities, I'm going to build up this reading, that's when they're going to come for you. Let's see what the Five of Cups says. It says grief, disappointment. The Five of Cups indicates a time of sorrow. A relationship may fall apart, or an old friend could slip away. There will be disappointment and even regret. When this card appears, it's important not to make any hasty decisions. It also may be helpful to look at the type of expectations you place on others. Perhaps they can never do enough to please you. And like I said, because this is reversed, I think that people place a lot of expectations on you, and you can never please them. There might be one person in your life that's like really placing so many expectations on you and expects you to be perfect, and it's just time for you to completely cut ties with them. And when it said it's important not to make any hasty decisions, this being reversed, I would say it's important to make this hasty decision to leave this person or this place or this thing, whatever it is that's really negative in your life. I really assume that it's going to be a person, because of just the way that this is. It definitely could be a whole entire city, or just anything. Like, I plan on moving myself, and letting go of a lot of what I've dealt with growing up. It will be very liberating to me. So that is also an option. Either way, these cards are sending an extremely clear message that it is time to leave. Like, it could not be more clear. It said that it could not be more clear. There's going to be grief. There's going to be sadness from doing this. It hurts. It hurts to cut off people that you really care about. It hurts to leave places that you really love. And it hurts to leave places of work that you've worked at for a long time or something like that. All of those things hurt, but it doesn't hurt more than getting treated incorrectly. Like, for imagine looking back at your life and thinking, man, I let this person treat me like this for my entire life. Like, you don't want to look back at your life and think that. So just make sure that every single person, every single thing in your life is treating you with the utmost respect, and cut ties with anybody or anything who is not. That is what's going to put you on the next step, the next stages in your life. It is no wonder that you got an anti-anxiety bottle, because I would be extremely anxious too if I had people around me that were placing a lot of expectations on me and making me feel really bad about what I do. It definitely seems like it's coming from the outside. It's truly not an internal thing. Like, people do actually say hurtful things to you, and it's time to move on. It's time to pack your bags and move on. Like, I'm sorry this isn't all sunshine and happiness, but you know what? I guarantee that these next few stages are going to be so, so happy. Like, let's see what we have here. The King of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Look at that. I knew it. I knew that as soon as you let go of whatever this is, you will eventually live this life of like freedom and bliss and creativity and passion, and like maybe being involved with music or fire dancing or riding horses or just being in nature and being at festivals or whatever it is. It's just going to be a very free and happy life. Like, that is what the opportunity is coming to you once you leave this. This is holding you back. Like, there is definitely something very deep and very sad holding you back. And it is time to untie. It might take a while to untie, to cut. It hurts. Like, maybe even do a magic spell. Like, I want to cut this cord cutting spell. Like, that might really help you. I'm going to read this King of Swords card as well. These are what opens up to you once you have let go and left whatever you need to leave behind. Okay, this is the King of Swords, but it's reversed, so I'm going to have to see how I would read that. It says, intelligent and diplomatic, this king leads with facts, rationale, scientific principles, and the logical mind. He has an affinity for rules and thought. He suggests finding impartial clarity before you take your next step. Even though he always seeks data and proof, he knows that blending experience with inventiveness or blending intelligence with emotional and spiritual energies allows for a well-rounded success. Be courageous in the pursuit of your path and find your own methodical, confident authority by knowing the way rather than just feeling the way. In shadow, this card can suggest using knowledge to take advantage of others. With truthful communication, it's time to help others in a way that is honest rather than manipulative. Find wisdom in your experience and seek to become the success engineer of your life. With confident, clear thinking, you will find your success. I make intelligent and wise decisions about my future. So, I mean, I just want to say that, like, this card was saying about being manipulative. I really don't think that you are manipulative. I think that there is somebody in your life that is very manipulative to you. You know, sometimes that toxic energy can kind of like rub off on people, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't take that part of what I said like fully, that it's for you. But I think like every single other part of that, other than like, I think there should be a balance between feeling and knowing, but I definitely feel like this card is telling you that you need to take the steps, figure out the steps. Let's say you're in a long-term relationship with somebody and it's really not working out. Like, you need to figure out the steps of how you can leave this person, what steps you need to take to leave this person. Or like, if you want to, like, let's say cut ties with your own parent, like, how are you linked? Does your parent like own anything of yours? Like, are you tied to in any way? Do you live with them? Are they a really close friend of all your friends? Like, how are you going to go about making sure that this person isn't like a huge part of your life, that you're not seeing them anymore? And like, how are you going to be financially stable, and etc., etc.? Make really logical and rational decisions about your next steps and how you can do this. Like, if you do want to move to a different city or state, or, you know, a different part of the world, how can you do that? How can you budget? Be extremely rational. And you're going to be, I mean, you could even be like traveling around. Like, this card definitely gives me that feeling. And the Knight of Wands also, I want to mention, is like super creative energy. Like, that's what's coming for you. A lot of creative passion. I really want to stress that. I can imagine that, like, with what you're dealing with, you or are about to deal with, you probably are not feeling super creative. I would imagine, kind of feeling down. I would imagine, and or maybe not the person that you used to be. Maybe you used to be like super passionate and creative, and maybe this person has like sucked the life out of you. Um, yeah, it's definitely time to work on getting rid of this energy, and it will open up so many doorways for you. I really hope that this resonates for you. I'm sure that this is kind of a specific reading for like a pretty specific situation. So if you're feeling like this is not for you, like it's very possible, but I know that there's somebody out there that really needed to hear this reading, so I'm glad that it is out there in the universe at this point, and I hope that the right people are seeing it, because I definitely do feel it's very specific. And finally, we have the Five of Pipes. Pipes is also wands, so there's absolutely going to be some like really intense creative energy, and like she has a pan flute and she has a drum, so I'm definitely feeling like some like musical creative energy. I wanted you guys to see that King of Swords up close. There's like this owl here, and the crow, dragonfly. I definitely am feeling like a very wise energy would be coming to you. I just wanted to mention that too. And this top card, I wanted it to be like your ultimate kind of spiritual goal that you're working towards. I love that the deer's here. That's very much a peaceful energy. I kind of consider myself a deer spirit, but we're really everything, aren't we? Let's see what the Five of Pipes has to say. This is your, like I said, your ultimate like spiritual goal. The Five of Pipes, prayer. It is time now to go out into the world and share my dream, to give myself to my people. I know this is a challenging time when my life could be altered by the will of others. My ideas will be up for scrutiny by those I want to please. So, Great Spirit, I accept the courage to face the world with that which you have given me. I accept the wisdom to know how to expose your divine nature within me to those who have eyes to see. I am strong in my commitment that the essence of my vision will remain true to that which you have inspired me to do. I will lure the world to its divinity by the nature of love you have given me. I will call the wild unknown. That's so funny, this deck's called the wild unknown. I will call the wild unknown, the strength and beauty ever present within me. Your breath, your life will pass through me, and I will be at my best. It's definitely telling you that you have to remember the divinity inside of you and to stay true to you and what you want in your life, because you do not want to be on your deathbed thinking, oh man, I lived a life that other people wanted me to live. Live it exactly how you want to live it. That is very important, and it's definitely calling on the divinity, the flow of the universe within you. That is something that you want to always be looking towards. A lesson. Your vision has brought a portion of your dream to you, but not all forces are yet aligned with your dream. Your own mind may wander from your vision. You may not currently accept what you have to offer. It is time to face these things and lure the universe to accommodate you. Okay, I definitely am immediately getting from this that you don't feel like you deserve something, happiness, love, or something. There's something holding you back that you just don't feel. You could be divine, or you could be something. Like, there is some belief inside of you that is saying that you're not able to do life the right way. And that's just not true. I'm just here to tell you right now that you are divine, you are perfect, that you can have an amazing life, you can have a beautiful life, you deserve a beautiful life. It's very important that you hear that. Holding the highest good, that which you can imagine in your mind, begin to enter the unknown. Whether you are engaged in a hunt in the primeval forest or entering into a new marriage or new career, you are stepping alone into a force field much larger than yourself. You are seeking only one prize, the cherished central key to your dream. Perhaps it is a person's ongoing love, maybe a position where your creative works will be recognized and encouraged, or an inner step of development that you have been longing to achieve. In any case, you must use your personal talents to guide the dearly desired towards you. Wow. So this goes back to everything I've been saying, that you are going to find a really loving relationship if you don't have one now. You are going to find a career that makes you feel inspired, that will help you to spread creative energy, and you will be rewarded for your accomplishments. You are going to have whatever is the opposite down here of the thing that is not serving you. You are going to have the highest good of that, and all you need to do is just ask for it to come your way. Just sing the song and say, I want that. I did that today. I've been trying to get a house. My boyfriend started playing guitar. I started singing, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get the house of my dreams. It's gonna have a garage. I mean, I was singing, but I'm just sitting there singing. Like, maybe truly lure the universe with a song, or with writing, or with visualization, whatever it is, whatever way you need to do it. It's time for you to lure that thing to you. This might be, like your highest energy, but I think that it's something that you can implement right now. Like, whatever it is that's hurting you, it's time to ask for the opposite of that. Your fears will rise up. Your expectations that others should already be attuned to your needs will be confronted. You are alone and small in a field of seeming opposition. It is time to go with your gifts. Pull out your talents and use them, however meager you may think them to be. This is what the universe is asking of you now. Trust the higher self. Pull out the pipes and blow your life's breath into them. Give it your all. This is the ego's battle to transcend its boundaries. It is time of interpersonal breakthrough and growth. You are coming to terms with life around you. This is a creative conflict, or the therapy stage of relationship, a cleansing initiative. All of your energy is called forth to empower you. Play for all you are worth. Your higher self is being pulled through, and the world will respond. Remember, attachment to ego is not just self-centeredness, but can be stubborn holding on to the old and less creative self. Free those ego boundaries, soar beyond old limitations. There are wonderful things you wish to do. Take this chance. Wow, that's amazing. It is just saying to go with life, give it all you got, be as creative as you possibly can be. These cards really could be talking about just like the feelings you have about yourself. Like, I want to go back and really actually highlight that it doesn't necessarily actually really have to be all the expectations that others put on you. It really could be the expectations that you put on yourself. You don't have to be perfect. Just give it your all your intention, all your love. It doesn't have to, you can just paint with your fingers. Just give it your all. Even when you're doing that, just give it all your love. Give it all your joy. Like, have the divine run through you. Ask for the divine to run through you. Like, whatever it is that's not working for you, you're about to let it go. And then you are going to be on a path of just letting the divine flow through you and being as creative as you possibly can be. Like, this is very exciting. Like, just get ready to be super joyous and to be in control of your mind. And there will be times when the ego will battle you. Every single person deals with this because the ego was put in place for survival. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that part of your mind that wants to just survive and not flow and have the divine just take you wherever you go. But it is a battle. You do have to say, no, I'm going to listen to my intuition. I'm not listening to you, ego, telling me to do something stupid. I'm listening to my intuition. There might be times when you really do have to make that choice to not be in your old self, to be completely new self. That's what this is saying. And I'm going to move on to your self-care card, which is the basis for you're transitioning, your first stage, your first steps. You want to be focusing on energy work. You can do this while meditating and trying to go inward and getting into your root, maybe even imagining a red and then going up to each one. Or you can also possibly go get Reiki, maybe a chakra attunement. Just definitely focus on the different energy centers inside your body. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but it flows throughout every single piece of you. It's not just these ones in the middle here. Like, you can focus on your shoulders, you can focus on the bottoms of your feet, but whatever is not flowing, not feeling right, put some energy there. Do a little meditation. You don't have to be completely still. You don't have to sit like this. You can if you want. But just do a little energy work, whatever that looks like to you. It can also mean putting on a YouTube like binaural beats or YouTube frequency that is for all of the chakras. I really like doing that. That's something that you can definitely do. Okay, and I'm going to be moving on to the Crystallary deck, Precious Opal and Carnelian. And these are going to be cards that have different rituals that you can do. Going to read the ritual for Precious Opal. After you've done maybe energy work and you've worked on the steps and the first stages, this will be a ritual that you might want to implement. I have to read this. It's so awesome. Were the ancient oracles always accurate? No. Time is fluid. Opal knows. Making the prophecy business rather risky. But when the priestess of Delphi donned opals, their ability to make sense of the swirling waters of what is to come sharpened. Unlike most stones, opal is known to hold and work with water. She feels the ways in which the waters of time can be channeled or dammed, creating different outcomes and new visions. Since the future is not a fixed destination, naming the pathways you might walk to get there begins to craft what comes next. Choose your road and name your path, Opal encourages. That's how the future emerges out of the swirling waters of time. Oh my god, I definitely love that. It's like, I can't really tell you where your life is going unless, like, this is what, if you want to be traveling all around, like, that's what you'll do. If you want to be on a freaking boat like a pirate, that's what you could do. You could do anything in your life. You could do whatever you want. You could be playing a pan flute in the woods. Like, you can literally do whatever you want. That I'm not telling you the exact things that are like I said, this bottom row could be a person, a career, your own limiting beliefs. This is very general. Like, this is just to help you on your road that you are creating. I am not telling you what your future really will be. I'm telling you areas to look towards the light, to be a divine channel, like goals to have that are good goals for literally anyone. Like, I think that this card was very important that you heard that. And it's saying, visualize your future. The real magic comes from taking the time to use all of your senses to envision and embody your desires for what is to come. Identify something you are wanting to move towards in your life. This could be in your career, your love life, or your home life. It might be a trip you plan to take or something you are creating in the world. Now spend a few minutes getting quiet. Instead of lists and ledgers envisioning your future, see it in your mind's eye. Walk yourself through a day of that future, noticing all the details. Now overlay texture, scent, and sound into this vision. Making it real to you is the first step in making it real in the real world. Wow, that is so beautiful. Definitely visualization is going to be a really important tool. Name what you want. Isn't it interesting? This has a boat and like a whale. And this also has, like, he's on a boat. I'm pretty sure. Maybe he's not, but I was just like getting a feeling like maybe you're gonna go on like a cruise or something. I don't know why that's like coming through to me, like in Alaska, something like that. Obviously, that's not like for sure. Like this one always reminds me of Burning Man, but just if you want to take like really fantabulous trips and have a really really fun time, really amazing time, imagine it, plan it out, think about it, like Google the place that you want to go and like think, like it said, imagine a day there exactly as it would be with the sun shining on you, or like seeing a whale pop out of the water. Or if you want a new career or a new lover, like imagine the lover, imagine what it would be like to lay with them, to have them stroke your hair. What, be very specific in your visualizations and it will be true. It will come to you. This is so beautiful. I really hope that this reading is resonating for you. And then I'm going to move on to Carnelian, also out of the Crystallary book. 67. Get curious. Craft your seal. Carnelian has been used since ancient times for signet rings and seals because hot wax doesn't stick to her surface. She's been carved into beads that fastened scrolls shut or were strung onto necklaces to be traded as currency. Not only is carnelian a great traveler, she's a stone who's been intimate with the humankind and privy to our secrets and stories for millennia. In older times, our stories were contained in glyphs and pictures. Indigo stamps, made from carnelian and used to seal letters, contained images that told the reader who had sent the missive. The sender was signified by the plants, animals, and sometimes a motto embossed on the seal. Create your own seal or personal crest. What plant represents your spirit? What animal represents how you move through the world? What stone or mineral speaks to your core values? What short phrase encompasses your purpose? Wow, that sounds like a really fun and awesome idea. But I think that this card is truly saying, like, who are you? Like, what are your true morals? What speaks to you? What do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go? There's so much travel happening here. There's a world here. And like, maybe you want to go to China, maybe you want to go to Japan, maybe you want to go to Greece. Like, think about what you really want. Think about what types of art you want to create and cultures you want to experience, and just experiences and different things you want to experience in general. But it's funny that I said I'm the deer spirit, but aren't I really everything? Maybe there is an animal that you feel called to. You could actually Google it, you can Google your birthday and then see if that animal like speaks to you. And just put, even if you're not good at drawing, okay, just put together some things on a piece of paper, just doodle it. Or you can also like put it on Microsoft Word or online. You could maybe make a collage. I'm sure there's an app you could use to make a collage. Photoshop, obviously, if you have those skills and those tools, but make yourself something. This just sounds like a really fun thing to do, is just like, who am I? What am I? What represents me? I think that would be really fun tool to get true to like who you are. And that might not be something that you do right away because this is in the higher steps, but like I think that this card really is saying just figure out what you want. Figure out what you're feeling and what you feel is true to you. Like I feel like the deer because I tried to be peaceful and I tried to be gentle. And you can really figure out some things about who you are by figuring out what types of animals and crystals you associate yourself with. And finally, you have, what is this? Unakite? Unakite? I've actually never heard of this crystal. Live in the present. Heart chakra. Oh, that's perfect. We're talking about all these future lives and like these future steps and things you need to do. But in all seriousness, like at the top of your tower, at the highest step is to be in the present. So truly you could even just start there, is to just live in the present moment. And if you just connect with your intuition and connect with the present moment, really, you will be guided. If you ask for what you want, you will be guided in the present moment to where you need to go and to what you need to do to get what you want. At your highest level, you are a heart-centered being. You have so much love to give, and always remember that. Always remember that to love yourself, to love others, get in tune with your heart space. When you're doing your energy work, that might be an area you want to focus on. Since this is up the side of the oracle, get into your heart space. Find that green energy inside of you and say, I want to open my heart, you know, because that's what this card is usually depicted, like sometimes depicted as like a heart being stabbed 3 times. Like you really might be breaking your own heart, honestly, just by like the beliefs that you have, or the people that you're surrounding you, or the people you're surrounding yourself with, or whatever career is not fulfilling you, whatever it is, it's breaking your heart. So open your heart up to love. Remember that you are a loving being that has so much love to give, and just get in tune with that space, and live in the present moment. Like, I know we're talking about the future, but really that is one of the best tips, is just to be one with the moment. Don't think about, I can have this, I can have that. Like when you're in the present moment and you're using time to visualize the future, that is a good use of the present moment. But that is intentional. It's not, I wish I could have this, I'll never have this, and oh, in my past this happened and it means that I'll never have this, and I made these terrible decisions and now my life is ruined, it's over. Like, you can't think like that. And don't be too caught up in your past. Like, everybody makes mistakes, truly. Everybody makes mistakes. It's okay, your past. It's okay. Everything that's going to happen is going to be okay. So just focus on what you're doing now. Open that heart up and move on from whatever it is that is hurting you. It's time to move on, because it's going to open up this amazing life where you're inspiring others and you're loving others and you're just flowing with the divine, co-creating, and possibly even making some music for people to hear, making some art for people to see, and just being really in tune. I see you being very, very in tune and loving, so loving. I absolutely love you, pile number 5. That was a very beautiful reading. I definitely hope it resonated with you, and I hope that you are able to move on from this difficult situation that has happened, or is happening in your life. I absolutely love you. I'm saying it again. You gotta hear it. You gotta love yourself too, and you gotta just be one with the freaking love, baby, because I love you. I'm saying it again. I love you. Have an amazing rest of your day, pile number 5. I'm going to leave all of the decks that I used today down below, as well as my tip information and my Amazon wish list. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day wherever you are. You are so loved and so amazing, and you are going to get through this. I promise you that. Bye, baby.